Hey, hey, it's Mike. I'm back, and I hope there are no problems. I hope there are no computer issues tonight. I don't know what was going on last night. I do apologize. There were some sound issues. I was having some screen issues. Hopefully, that's all been resolved. I think it is. But we're going to get right to the opening because I got a lot of stuff I want to share, a lot of stuff I want to talk about. So let me get this opening going right now. All right.
Hello?
Hello.
All right, I'm back, and like I said, I apologize for last night. The problems. I hope there's no problems today. Everything looks like it's going great, but I just don't know nowadays. I don't know what's going on. Um, but I'm going to cross my fingers, and we're gonna just plow right through, and we're gonna get through this. I didn't get to finish yesterday. I was almost done with my story. Um, but we'll just see. We'll see how it goes. I want to start off though with something really cool, which is knitting cult lady. She's got a great video. We'll watch a little bit of it. It's really good. It might be triggering to to some of us. I know when I was listening to her talk, um, it was it wasn't okay, it was triggering. No, it was it wasn't triggering, but it was close. So let me just go ahead and get right into this because it's really good, and I want to show you this. And so we got, oh yeah, I'm sorry, we got who we got here? N is N in here? God, 6781. Shaman, Ritam, and Snoggle. Hey, I'm glad you're here. Hey, I'm glad you made it. I'm glad you're at the start of a stream. Um, and then we got 7720. Great to see you here. This is a really good. I got a lot of good stuff. So let's get right to this because this is so, for me, it was so interesting. And here we go. Let's see.
Today for Devotions with Daniela, we are reading from the first book of Daniela. Oh, I get my children mixed up. My memoir about growing up in a cult and then going into the cult of the U.S. Army. What cult? People ask. This is the least storytelling part of the book and the most just explaining part of the book. The Children of God was started in 1968 by the prophet David Berg, a failed 50-year-old preacher who found his calling by saving lost souls searching for meaning among the hippies gathering in California. The adults called him Dad, and we kids called him Grandpa. The counterculture movement had given the Children of God an opportunity to flourish, as many people, especially young people, were leaving organized religion in the name of finding their own relationship to spirituality and peace, and cults pop up in times of social turmoil. Berg saw these young people as a sheep in need of a shepherd and began to corral them into his flock. But the thing nobody ever tells you about the shepherd analogy is that the shepherds always eat their sheep in the end.
Sorry about that, folks. See we get through this. There we go.
That line's going in the musical. To join the group, all adults forsook their worldly possessions and dedicated their lives to Jesus, as explained by the prophet. They took on new names from the Bible, and David Berg rechristened himself Moses David, answering as prophet, Father David, Mo, Dad, and later Grandpa to his followers. The group was full of idealistic seekers who deeply believed in the righteousness of their mission. Young people gathered before the end times to bring in souls for Christ, sharing and living together communally with love and acceptance. They called themselves Teens for Christ until a journalist derisively called them the Children of God, and they decided to adopt the moniker as their own. Internally, they referred to themselves as the family. They started proselytizing and launching communes throughout the world. By the mid-70s, an estimated 30,000 people were on the active membership rolls of the Children of God from all over the U.S., and the group had spread to at least 15 countries. Spotting a way to differentiate himself from all the other new religious movements sprouting up, Berg started preaching how much God loved sex, and that the devil was the one who had demonized it.
So, I mean, that is so much like, I mean, if you just strip away the cultural differences between what Prabhupada did and what this Berg guy did, it's almost identical. Although Prabhupada was preaching against sex, which is almost like, it's almost the same as preaching for sex. I mean, if you tell someone enough times they can't have it, can't have something, what's the one thing they want to have? It's that one thing that they can't have. So, but the founding of the religion, the timing, the target audience, the distribution of literature, the proselytizing, the commune, the names, giving himself these names and them calling him names, and it was, Prabhupada, it was like, Swamiji, and then Bhaktivedanta and Prabhupada, and now he's got like a million names. I mean, this is it's identical. It's identical to the evolution of the whole thing, with the communes and spreading around the world. And
he began writing prolifically, sharing his beliefs through thousands of publications he called Mo letters, as well as comic books and later movies and music produced by a central ring of his followers. He taught my grandparents' generation, the first generation, that it was their sacred duty to raise sexually liberated children, and publicly declared how much he wished he'd been liberated enough to have sex with his own mother as a young teenager. Berg also believed, like many evangelicals of his day, in the Christian idea that if you spare the rod, you spoil the child, which is the title of this chapter. And
so there's so many similarities with all of these cults. This guy was like, you gotta discipline your kids. Prabhupada was like, they came, they said, hey, can we beat these kids? Can we beat them? Can we beat this one kid so we can teach all the kids that they're gonna get beat? And Prabhupada was like, yeah, okay, fine. The sex, the monastery. I mean, I don't even need to get any more. You can go and listen to her knitting cult lady. I thought this was really interesting, just the beginning of it somewhere. And like she said, there's 30,000 members, and this is a sex cult, a sex with children cult, a pedophile cult. It didn't call itself that. But that's what they were doing, and that's what this guy, and even this guy is talking about how I wish I could have had sex with my mother. He's having sex with his kids. He's preaching about sex with children, and the parallel for me is, Prabhupada had an 11-year-old wife when he was 22 years old, and he was teaching that to his disciples, and directly teaching it to them. And I'm going to get into that some more in just a minute. So that's knitting cult lady. It sounds so much like Prabhupada and ISKCON that you can't ignore the similarities. I was watching Ancient Alien series on YouTube. Pretty interesting stuff before joining the live Ancient Aliens. That one of those Hare Krishna guys is on there, Michael Cremo. He masquerades as some scientist. He masquerades as some scientist, scholar guy, and he's all into the ancient. Well, he's into the Vedic, He's like, oh, 1,000 millions of years ago they were flying then, and he's talking about the Vedas, and the Vedas say this, and the Vedas say that, and it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, and I used to see him all the time at the L.A. Temple. Oh my God, it resembles Prabhupada so much. Yes, it does. Everything about it is, well, because they're all cults operate the same, and that's why. Some of the details may be different, but basically the overall pattern, the overall way they function, the overall, everything. The skeleton's the same. The way they flesh it out is different. So that's an Indian cult lady. Go check her out. The link is in the description. You can check her out there and watch her videos. So let's see, the next thing I wanted to talk about. So let's get right into this. Let's get right into this guy. This is really interesting. The teachings of the Vedas. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to get into that right now, but let's listen to this guy. And I'm not promoting this guy as a guru. I'm not saying I don't know who this guy is. I don't really care who he is. I'm not, that's not the issue. The issue is, he's an Indian guru from this, he's his divine grace, Mahamandaleshwar Mahant Shri Krishna Balaram Swami from Tirumala, India, and this was a few years ago, but it's just interesting what he has to say about ISKCON in particular, specifically. And I don't know if anybody's seen this. I'd never seen this before. I'm 8 years late. I'm 7 years late because it's been up for 7 years. But I just found it, and I thought it was really interesting. So here we go.
They don't think rules are important. Prabhupada was still alive, and the females, ladies, menstruating ladies were worshipping Krishna, giving him bath in Vrindavan. And I asked the head pujari, how come this lady is coming every day, not stopping? He should be out 5 days, 25 days should worship. No, every day they should worship. Wow. Mm-hmm. And Prabhupada was still alive. Yes. That was in 1975.
Yes.
So this message reached Prabhupada, and Prabhupada told, no, 5 days they should not worship. So they started that, but now they may be going 30 days. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. 31 days in a month.
31, yes. That's why I asked you about.
There are also gurus now, though, right? Lady gurus.
So basically, the issue, what I see here, the point or the issue is these Prabhupada disciples, even while Prabhupada was here, these mostly white Prabhupada disciples, they're reading Prabhupada's books and they're trying to imitate him, and he's giving them initiation, whatever, a second initiation. Now they think that they know something, and they're in India, and they're in a temple. They have a temple, and they're worshiping, and people are saying that they're doing it wrong, that these women shouldn't be doing it while they're menstruating because in India they don't do that. So they're criticizing that these ISKCON devotees don't know, they don't care about the culture. So then they went to Prabhupada, and Prabhupada said, yeah, that they're right, they shouldn't do that. And that's kind of my point. Is like, these guys think that they're gonna get they're I don't know, they're sannyasis and gurus just because. just because they think that they're, and this guy's like, no.
You supposed to know you are an American.
That's what I
They are
heard.
an American. In India, I think they will throw stones. They are in America, white ladies. Because they want their girlfriends to become gurus.
Gurus.
Mahant told me that. They just want their girlfriends to become gurus of gurus. In Ohio, there is a guru knee.
Guru D. Really? Oh, you heard that from over Athens?
1986.
Welcome to Home Designs AI.
Not
Whether
again.
you're looking for inspiration to redesign your room, or you're starting from scratch and you need to fill an empty room,
Or 85 has to be. 85. I was in Delhi, ready for going Mayapur. Jayadvaita arrived in Delhi temple. And some guy, secretary to Tamal Krsna, arrived in Delhi. So we were in the room talking, discussing. Jayadvaita said we have to make some females become gurus. Telling me we have to select some ladies to become gurus. So I said, no, ladies cannot become gurus. Gurus is only men. Vedic civilization. Then he says, Jannava Mata was a guru. I said, this is the Lord Chaitanya's associates. And they did not initiate people, but they gathered people and guided them. But they are direct connected.
So this is what I'm saying, and I'm not saying, I'm not defending this guy or ISKCON or anybody, but this is the point that this is one of the points that I'm making, is that these guys like Tamal Krishna and Jayadvaita and whoever these guys are, they think that they're some kind of like super Hindus because of Prabhupada, because they read Prabhupada's fucked up books. They've been brainwashed into thinking that they're now some super Hindus that are going to, take sins and relieve this, and I'm going to have disciples, and I'm going to be, because Prabhupada was a megalomaniac. He started a cult. He started a cult where people are just being worshipped. Everybody's worshiping somebody. Everybody's worshiping somebody. Somebody's washing somebody's feet. The insanity. And even this guy can see it. And this guy's like a real one. I'm not saying he's I'm not saying he's not, this guy looks like kind of like one of these guys that I met in Deo Pereira, the guy that was living in a cave. He was a lot younger than this guy. He was living in a cave, and he was just like doing his thing. He didn't give a shit about how many followers he had, how much money he had. All he cared about is if he could keep his lamp lit, because that was his like spiritual thing, was his lamp, and he needed ghee. And he's like, hey, can you buy me some ghee? I need some ghee for my thing. That I'm a white American, and I got money, I got a camera, and I'm here, and at his place, obviously I got money, I got cash. So he's like, hey, can you donate so I can get some ghee for my lamp? I just want to make sure I got I gave him like 20 rupees or something. He didn't want a whole buy. He wanted like 20 rupees. But that's the kind of guy. These guys. Like if you want to chant Hare Krishna, you want to be Babaji, Mr. Babaji, whatever, go be like these guys, live in a cave with your ghee lamp and your bucket of kitri or whatever, and hustle your books out of your cave and leave everybody alone with your pedophilia shit. And even this guy can recognize you got a bunch of frauds and fakers. Yeah, super Hindus. They're super Hindus. They're the super Hindus that are going to relieve the world. Like all you other Hindus aren't good enough. This guy's not good enough. This guy can't do right? And if you had Jai Potato Head and Satsvarup and Jai Dwait and all these, they go, well, this guy, this Mahamandaleshwar Mahant, Sri Krishna, he's not surrendered to Prabhupada, and he's not, he doesn't read Prabhupada's book, and he doesn't, and they're like, he's not as good as we are. We're the super Hindu. We're the better Hindus than this guy. They want you to believe that. The freaking Satsvarup wants you to believe that he's better, and all of these guys. Indra Yumna Swami wants you to believe, and he's a better Hindu than this guy. And I don't even know this guy, and I'm like, I don't know, man. If I had to pick between Indra Yumna Swami and this guy, who's the real guru, and I win a prize, I definitely pick this guy. I'm just saying. I don't know, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying, man. I'm going with this guy.
Representatives, associates. No, my lecture and Yadurani's lecture were the best lectures. I said, that may be, but she cannot become. Oh, she's more qualified than said that you remove your sannyas and give it to her. He said that.
And they vote.
Yeah, I like that. That's funny.
They vote.
You give her your sannyas if you think she should be sannyas. You give up your sannyas, you give it to her. Oh, this guy. I like this guy. I like this guy.
Vote.
So what happened?
Stinky little Indian telling some white man from America something against his will. I think they will take Lochan's gun and shoot.
All right, did you catch that? He says, stinky little Indian. I don't know, what is he? Is he talking about Prabhupada? I don't know. Did he call Prabhupada a stinky little Indian? Because he I don't know. Did he just do that? He says here, this is the quote. Stinking little Indian, a few white men from America are going to come, something against their will. I don't know. I don't know who's the stinky little Indian that he's talking. I don't know what he's talking about. He's talking about stinky little Indian. That's the best quote of all. I don't know. I don't know who he's talking about.
From America, something against his will. I think they will take Lochan's gun and shoot. You see, it is good, it's correct, I accept. Americans are great, but not in every spiritual field. They are materially great, I accept. But their ego should not go beyond materialism. Material ego, I accept.
So basically, he's saying the same thing I'm saying. He's basically saying the same. Now that I hear it, the second time, I knew he was saying this, but I didn't fully relate it. He's basically saying the same thing. He's like, these white people come over here, and Americans or Western, and you're very materially you're very great. You're very advanced materially, but that doesn't translate into you guys being spiritually advanced. And the fact that they can just come over here and just assume in India that they are super Hindus. I don't know what to say. Super Hindu.
I accepted them and accept them as leaders of the world. It's good. But in spiritual field, they are zero.
Zero.
Do you understand?
Yes.
They're zero. Even today, they're 30 years devotees, Hridayananda, all these guys, they're all spiritually zero.
So he just called Hridayananda out by name, saying these guys, even today, after 30 years as devotees, Hridayananda, all these guys, they are all spiritual zeros. They're spiritual zeros. And that's what I've been saying. I've been saying, and He's saying the same thing I'm saying. Retards are us, mentally. Yeah, I know. Hey, fake human, great to see you here. Fake human, of course, man, awesome. Yeah, this is a great video. This is a great video. Let's watch some more. This video is so good. Let's watch some more.
They are not qualified even to guide anybody on the platform of spiritualism, because they themselves are not on platform of spiritualism.
Right. They themselves are not on a spiritual level. And we can argue about that all you want. This guy, he look at him. He seems like look at him. He looks like he might, he look like he's been doing this for a while. I don't know, but I take his word for it, because you don't even have to just take his word for it. If you look at what ISKCON has produced, these guys with their pedophiles and protecting them and promoting them as the best guys ever, and all this abuse of children, abuse of women. This cult is producing people like Nara Narayan and who knows who else. That's not spiritual at all. It's just not. And this guy can see it. Because this guy lives in a cave down by the river. No. This guy, he's not doing any, he's not coming from a culture that does it. He can see. He's like, you guys are not. You guys. He's like, come on.
They are all spiritually wrong. And they think they know everything, and he walks like this. He don't look. If I was Vidhata, Lord Brahma, when he's walking like this, I would put a ditch there. He falls, his foot, he falls in the one fall in the ditch. You understand?
Yeah.
When you have knowledge properly and fully, you would bow down, humble. Yeah. Even if you are egotistic, you should look the floor to walk.
Yes.
He won't look, he will look like this. And he will shake his head like this. That is wrong. I'm not against Hridayananda, but I'm giving example what is happening. Your nation is the greatest in the world. It is true, I explain everywhere like this. You people are great and the most smart on this planet, but not on spiritual platform. You have to be humble there because you don't know anything on spiritual platform. Then, if you are like this, you will become very good devotees.
I've seen many well-educated devotees in ISKCON. They're very proud. They are not humble anymore. Perhaps they was. But because they know so much, they think they are proud. Many of them are very proud. And no one, since years he was walking always like this, he did know nearly the whole Bhāgavat Dharma memorized.
But where's the love, That's what I ask.
Yes.
Don't you love Krishna? Don't you love other people?
I have hammered my American devotees enough. They may not act genuinely humble, at least they know they should be humble. Do you understand what I say?
No, absolutely. No, now not. Please explain.
I have hammered enough.
Yes.
My American disciples, they know they should be humble, and reality is in humility.
Yes.
They know it.
Yes.
They are humble still, but
Yeah.
need more.
Yeah.
But Americans, out of my hands, they are not humble, spiritually. They are out of hand. They're not. ISKCON, you will never find one devotee who is humble. They will say, Hari Bol. But inside is poison. You can see it.
You can see it. He can see it.
Yes,
We
right.
can see it.
Many devotees ask, why is this so impersonal, so clean everything, They don't show love, They
Let's talk
have no
about the
emotions.
beauty of God is beautiful.
Yes. It's just rituals, Just
I just
rituals.
want
Okay, So let's address this. Hey, Rafal. Hey, Rafal, good to see you here. Yeah, I don't. He's Krishna Balaram Swami. Yeah. So, like I said when I started this, is like I'm not saying he is any. I'm not saying he's any better. I'm not saying he's any different. What I'm saying is this guy can see that these ISKCON guys are full of shit. Now, he might be full of shit too. I don't know. What I'm saying is he can see the same thing I can see. He's saying, you white Americans are coming over here and you think that you guys know everything. Because some stinky little Indian is teaching you that you guys are like the greatest fucking super Hindus on the planet. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that this guy is gonna I'm not saying he's really any different. He could be this exact same, or he could be different. But what I'm saying is that he can recognize, because there's you don't have to be an American or a white person to be a scammer. And I'm not saying that that the scamming comes in only one shade. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that these ISKCON guys think that they the white man can do it better. And Prabhupada even wanted that. Prabhupada wanted to come to America, make a bunch of white American disciples, and take them back to India. That's not anything. That's not controversial. That's exactly what Prabhupada wanted to do, and that's what he did. And he took a bunch of his white elephants, he took them back, and he said, look at my dancing white disciples that I have. See, I'm a real guru. I'm the real deal. So it's no secret that that's what he wanted to do. And that's what he did. That's what he did. And that's just what this guy's saying. He's saying, this Sri Dayananda and these guys, they're all frauds. He says they can't feel it in their heart. It's like this Gora Hari with his giggling and crying and all of that stuff. That's what I'm saying. So I'm not trying to promote this guy and say, hey, if you want to, no, not at all. What I'm saying is that he can recognize and say that he's saying the same things I'm saying, and you met him a couple times in '94 and '96. He wasn't a Swami at that time. Yeah, like I was saying earlier, like I said, I don't know who this guy is. He could be living in a cave like that guy that I met in Deo Prague, that was just sitting there with his ghee lamp and his bucket of khichdi, and that was his, that was his life, sitting there in the, he didn't give a shit. But maybe this guy's some guru and he's got a bunch of followers. He's got American followers. He's trying to teach them something. And evidently, he's not teaching them what's going on in ISKCON, because he's like, those guys are full of shit. That's all I'm really saying. Yeah, there are many fake gurus and Babajis in India, especially in Vrindavan. Are there any real ones, though? That's kind of the question that we're kind of trying to get at, right? Are any of these guys real? Could you point to any real guru in India and say, well, this guy is real? I mean, I guess it all depends on what they're teaching. And it depends on what they're trying. I mean, I don't know. If they're teaching you to worship them, then, I'm going to say, what, I would pass. If he says, you got to wash my feet and drink the water in order to love God or love something, I'm going to take a pass. I'm going to pass. I'll take my chances. I'll take my chances, man. Okay? I don't I just thought it was interesting that here you got this guru talking about Americans thinking, the white Americans thinking that they're always better at everything because they're pretty well off materially. But that doesn't mean that you're a better samurai or a better Tibetan monk or a better anything just because you've got white skin. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so now, but what the title of his video is every ISKCON guru they are fake, and he makes a statement in here that these ISKCON gurus that they know that they're fake. He says in their, we're not going to watch it because I'm going to move on. He says in their heart they know that they're phonies and frauds, and that's what I say. I said in their heart they know. These guys know in their heart, if they have a heart, if they have a heart, man. Okay. So far so good with the sound. Everything's good with my screen. I'm not losing because I was losing the picture and I couldn't see what was going on, and I didn't know and I watched it back and everything was fine, but I couldn't see what was going on. It would flicker and it would flicker, so I had to just end it. But everything seems fine now. I don't know what was going on. Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, not sure how many sampradayas there are. Well, it all depends on who you talk to. You know, there could be, you know, some people say there's 4. Some people say, you know, there's 4 Vaishnava sampradayas, but then there's branches and branches of branches. You know, I mean, who, you know, and then, you know, is there a Hanuman branch? Is there a, you know, is there a branch that shoots off from Lakshman? Is there a branch that shoots off from I don't know, you know. Is there a Shiva Sampradaya? Is there, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, there's 4 that, see, ISKCON teaches us that there's 4. And then we get all our information from ISKCON. You know, I mean, right? The idea that there's 4 sampradayas, that's coming from ISKCON. Right? Don, I missed you earlier. Yeah, thanks for being here, Don. So, yeah, but that's what ISKCON says. And ISKCON dominates everything, and we're going to get to that in a second. In fact, we're going to get to that right now. So last night you guys were talking about chat and how it was saying that it's not a cult, and it was arguing about whether it was a cult or not. Yeah, see, there's all kinds. I mean, you know, there's all kinds of sampradayas. You know, yeah, right. ISKCON recognizes 4, and they say they're one of them. But that's what they say. That's what they say. If you ask this other guy, he'd probably say, "That's a stinky little Indian." That's what he was, a stinky little Indian with his white Americans coming over here. That ain't nothing. Stinky little Indian. That's funny. So I was checking out. So I did my own experiment. You guys got me researching here. I started researching, right? I started checking out Google AI. I went and I checked it out, and I was like, okay, I want to know about. I want to know about child marriage, and I want to know about child marriage and ISKCON, and so I asked it. So this is what happened. So I went in and I went over here and I put in here ISKCON founder Bhaktivedanta Swami was 22 years old and married a 12. I put 12-year-old girl, but she was 11. What does that make him? What does that make him? And it came back and it said 1918, Abhay Charan Day, married Radharani Dutta. Historical and biographical records generally place their ages at 22 and 11 or 12. Okay? Then it says, regarding the implications of this marriage, social norms of the era. At the time of the marriage, 1918, child marriage was the prevailing social and religious norm in India. Legal status in 1918, there was no uniform national law in British India setting a minimum marriage age of 14 or 18. Well, that's not what we read in Wikipedia. Wikipedia said that colonial British India had a child marriage law that was like 14. So it says here there was no uniform national law in British India setting a minimum marriage age of 14. I don't know. And then it says, it talks about the 1929, when the Child Marriage Act, and then it goes on and says, consequently, the marriage was legal under the prevailing laws and customs of that time. Well, according to Wikipedia, it was 14 under British colonial law. The minimum age was 14. And so this is a lie. This is not true. Where it's this thing about legal status, this part is not true. That's wrong. So then the next part says arranged nature. Like most marriages in that society, it was arranged by the parents. Okay. Then it says marriage dynamics goes on. Would you like more information on the evolution of marriage laws in India? So then I said, Bhaktivedanta Swami taught child marriage to his disciples. Is this legal? Is this legal? I had some typos. And it says, during the 1970s, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada did advocate for marriage at younger ages based on traditional Vedic principle, though his specific instructions to Western disciples often differed from the personal circumstances of his own marriage in 1918. That is blatantly false, because the conversation, right here, he's telling him to marry, and that this right here. I don't think anyone has done this before in our movement, the Vedic system. So I had a few questions about it because they're doing it. First of all, I told them they shouldn't associate. Prabhupada, no, they do not speak. That is the disease of your country. There is no objection. 19 years old boy and 12 years old girl. It's a very good combination. So what he's teaching, his specific instructions to Western disciple, that Western disciple in particular, who's marrying a little girl to a 19-year-old man, it did not differ from the personal circumstances of his own marriage, other than she was 12 and Prabhupada's wife was 11. So that's a lie too. So so half of this stuff so far is not even true. So where is it getting this bullshit from? It's got to be getting this bullshit from somewhere. Let's go on. So I asked it. So then it says teachings on marriage, 1970s, Vedic ideals. In various lectures and purports, such as Srimad Bhagavatam, Prabhupada taught that ideally girls should be married by 16 and boys by 24 or 25. Boys are not 24 or 25. Men are 24 and 25. Boys are only boys until they're 18, and then they become men, or 21 if you want to say 21. But he's talking about 24, 25. 24 years old is not a boy. That's a man. Why is it saying boys by 24 and 25? That's Prabhupada talking. That's not AI talking. So then it says here, purpose. He argued that early marriage combined with spiritual training would prevent illicit connection and provide a stable social structure. Adaptation for disciples. While he spoke of the Vedic tradition of marrying girls before or at puberty, 10 to 12, he generally instructed his Western disciples to follow local laws to avoid legal conflict. That's a lie. Again, we go back to this conversation. This conversation was in 1977. In 1977, the legal age in India for a girl to marry was 14. And this girl is 12. He's telling them to marry this 19-year-old man with this 12-year-old girl, which is against the law. And he's telling them to do it. Because this is the Vedic system. This is allowed in the Vedic system. This is all bullshit. This is all bullshit. Let me go back over here. Common range. In practical advice to his students, he often recommended a range of 16 to 18 for women and 20 to 25 for men. Now it says men. Now it says 20 to 25 for men, 16 to 18 for women. So yeah, he's saying right here, 16 years old and 25 years old for men, 16-year-old girls and 25-year-old men. I mean, and we know that he's not. We know that he's telling. We know from this conversation that he's happy with the 19 and 12 years old. He's happy with the 12-year-old marriage. Legality in the 1970s. In the United States, marriage laws were and are determined by individual states. In the 1970s, many states allowed girls as young as 16 and sometimes younger, with parental or judicial consent, to marry legally. Marriages involving 12-year-olds would have been illegal in nearly all U.S. jurisdictions during that decade, without extreme rare exceptions. Yes, and Prabhupada is telling them, go ahead and do it. He never said, he didn't tell Radhavalabha, yeah, you can marry this 12-year-old to this 19-year-old when she turns 14. In India, the Child Marriage Restraint Act was amended in 1978 to raise the legal age to 18 for women and 21 for men. Prior to this, the legal minimum age for women was 15. No, it was 14. I think it was changed to 15 in 1949. Okay. Abuse scandals. Despite his stated instructions to follow the law, former members he did not instruct them to follow the law. He did not. Why is it saying that? Where is this AI getting this idea that this is what where? Show me where. Despite his stated instructions to follow the law, former members have alleged that some arranged marriages involving girls as young as 11 or 13 occurred. Alleged. It's not alleged. These women have come forward. Occurred within ISKCON in the 1970s and 80s. These instances were later part of broader lawsuits regarding child abuse in ISKCON Gurukulas. I don't think that's true. I don't think child marriage was part of that lawsuit. Summary of legal status. If a marriage involved a 12-year-old in the 70s, it would have been illegal in both the United States and in India, where the minimum was 15 at the time. Prabhupada's official stance was typically to observe local laws. Where is that? Where is that quote? So the movement could focus on preaching rather than legal battles. No restriction on sex and love life in Shiva Sampradaya. It looks like we chose the wrong cult. Yeah, I noticed that when I got to Vrindavan in '97, and I was living there for two months. I ran into quite a few devotees who were now, claiming to be Shiva followers. I guess because there was like no rules, anything goes if you're following Shiva. So, and I know I ran into quite a few. Prabhupada just pulled all of this BS from his ass. That's what I say. That's what I'm saying. Bhaktivinoda, Bhaktisiddhanta, and Prabhupada, they're just making shit up. They're just making shit up. And that's why Prabhupada said, don't go talk to my God brothers. Don't go talk to anybody. Stay away from the Vrijabasis. Just put your head down and... because he didn't want anybody fucking up his gravy train. In the West, you're deemed an adult once you're 18 years old. I think that goes for both sexes. Yeah. We're fighting ISKCON as well as, and AI as well. Right. I mean, you guys can see, when I brought this stuff up, I was like, oh my God, this is a bunch of bullshit. This is, this is a bunch of bullshit. And I knew that you had to actually put quotes and specific things in there in order for Google to analyze it properly. If you're just asking, is ISKCON a cult? Is Prabhupada a cult leader? Is ISKCON, you know, what it's, you know, but when you get down and say, well, Prabhupada married a 12-year-old girl, 11-year-old girl, what's up with that? And it comes back and it explains about it. Then you can see the lies, you can see the misinformation, you can see the bullshit. The ISKCON freaks are feeding the AI false info about their cult to make it more appealing to the rest. Well, all of their stuff is bullshit. So AI is just going out and looking and grabbing shit and they're grabbing shit from ISKCON. They're grabbing shit from ISKCON. There's not enough stuff from us that says, I mean, there might be videos and stuff, but AI is not watching a video. It might scan my YouTube channel and read the description and read, you know, and read what my videos are about. They're not watching them. So it doesn't really, you know, what we would need is like articles. We need articles. We need magazines. Reviews. We need documentation on the internet about child marriage and, you know, about that girl and what her name is and when she was married and that Hladini and her name and that she was killed and that she went to Liberia on the orders of a guru who. You know, there's not enough of it out there. So AI and Google and ChatGPT, it doesn't, and that's a whole nother war. That's a whole nother fight. That's a whole nother fight because people are gonna watch Mike or read something about ISKCON, right? And then they're gonna go to Google and they're gonna say, is ISKCON a cult? And it's going to pop up and go, nah, ISKCON's not a cult. Mike's an idiot. He doesn't know what he's talking about. AI and ISKCON both have creepy elements to them, I know, right? And you put them together and it's like, So what was the other one? I had another one. Okay, so I'm going to, okay, this guy. Look at this guy. Let me go back to the videos. This is some of Raphael's videos. This is the brainwashing. We have all heard this. We've heard this story. We've heard this story, and we all repeated this story many times.
He knows the whole geography, history of the well, and he knows that. And then another quite well known here in India is the story of the frog in the well, who thought he knew everything. Dr. Frog was a brilliant scholar, a genuine PhD. He lived at the bottom of the well, and he had no idea of everything beyond the well. Just some little well in some country field, and he lives in a semi-dried up well so he can jump around at the bottom and catch the mosquitoes or whatever jumping around, and he knows everything.
And so we've heard this story so many times, and yeah, I know. This fucking Harry Potter pod. The guy, he doesn't want to become a ghost. All his chanting and all his mantras and all his everything, and he's still afraid of becoming a ghost. So this story with this frog in the well, we've heard this story so many times. I know it's. I know. What happened? What happened to the frog in the well? I know. We've all heard this story so many times about the frog in the well, and we repeated the story because it made sense to us. But goddamn it, you get out of this cult, and this is the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
He knows the whole geography, history of the well, and he knows that nothing exists beyond the well because no one has ever seen anything beyond the well. And then another
and he has no self-awareness that his whole life, his whole thing is living in this well of fantasy land where everything is this fantasy world that doesn't exist, based on a Vedic culture that never existed. And he's making fun of learning and knowledge about stuff, knowing about stuff. Meanwhile, his whole life is based like he's living in a fucking Renaissance fair. He's like living in a Renaissance fair, and he's so delusional.
Frog jumps in and says, "Hey, I was born in this well, but I managed to jump out and I went beyond, and hey, you guess what? I saw the ocean." "What's the ocean?" "Well, the ocean's a huge body of water." "What do you mean a huge body of water?" "You mean just like this well is, it's about three to 5 frog jumps long. So how big is the ocean?"
Exactly. He's the frog. He's the fucking frog. He doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. He's living in this fantasy world of his well where everything is Krishna and the this and the gopis and this and that, and he's got no understanding at all about the real world, the real actual world that he calls the material world, the Maya world of Maya, where everything is fake and phony and not. We live in this fake, phony world where, meanwhile, he lives in this fantasy land where he's afraid he's going to become a ghost if he says something bad about a child molester, and he's got the nerve to sit there and make fun of somebody who actually knows something. If that isn't the craziest fucking thing, if that isn't the craziest friggin' delusional thing.
Is the whole world gone crazy? Am I the only one around here who gives a shit about the rules?
It's just so. But we were telling that story. We told that story. I know I told that story a couple times. I know the people I told it to were like, "What the fuck are you?" They're like, "Mike, what the fuck are you talking about? Fucking frog in a well." I'm like, no, listen, no, really. I know, it's fucking crazy. This is fucking insanity, man. I know, has the whole world gone crazy?
Has the whole world gone crazy? Am I the only one around here who gives a shit about the rules?
Wonder if it's the same frog. He is the same frog that's getting boiled. He's the same frog because he's just sitting there not knowing what's going on. Meanwhile, his life is passing him by, dude. Your life passed you by, and you're doing the same thing you were doing when you were 18, and you joined this stupid-ass cult. You're chingy-chinging, and you're reading a fucking fantasy book, a fucking bedtime story, and you got people pushing a shopping cart of books around Costco parking lot, selling these fucking pedophile crap books. This is so fucking crazy, man. So, okay, so we get rid of that guy. Fucking insane. I don't know if I'm gonna do this guy because this guy, I don't know what this guy has to say. I really don't. Let me see. This is kind of funny. Even, this is pretty funny because look at insanity. Insanity. times 9, man.
Good way. It wasn't like watching the airport movie with a bunch of bald guys giving out flowers and being the butt end of jokes. Or maybe earlier in time you heard about some weird Maharishi guy via George Harrison, and he's singing Hare Krishna, and suddenly he's buying a temple for this group in England. What is that? Or maybe a relative of yours has decided to go off, or a friend or a daughter or somebody has decided to go off to join this Hare Krishna group. Maybe that's good. Maybe it's bad. Maybe the journey was good. Maybe the journey was bad. At some point during that journey, I'm 100% sure. Maybe it was your own journey you were taking and others were talking to you about that group you're joining. You thought, am I joining, or is this person I know joining a cult? Probably did. And then the thought would be, are they being brainwashed? Were they being brainwashed? Have they been brainwashed and now they're going to die in South America? You've probably thought that. And if you are now living in the current world and you are a spiritual seeker like myself, maybe you're interested in ISKCON. Great. I encourage being interested in ISKCON. I have some issues with it, but honestly, it's a great organization, has done great things in the theology.
All right, I'm done with him. He's a brainwashed nut. See, so there you go. I guess we can use that as a learning experience. Is that so many people don't understand the truth of this cult, and he's like some kind of, he's following. I don't know. He calls himself a Hindu. Music podcast by a Hindu and musician, and he's talking about whether ISKCON is a cult or not. Meanwhile, he looks like, I don't know. He's got the Hare Krishna chadar on. It looks like he's got some tilak on and a what do you call that? You call that a bindi or I don't know. I don't know if maybe he's a Shiva, maybe he's a Shiva guy or something. I don't know what he is. I really don't know. I don't know anything about this guy. But if he's going to sit there and say that there's something good about ISKCON, meanwhile he's saying, is it a brainwashed cult? Is it a cult? Does he brainwash to get members? Meanwhile, he looks like he's brainwashed. So that just shows you is that so many people don't know, they don't understand that it's not a spiritual organization. It's not 5,000 years old. The books are full of shit. All of that. Just people don't know. Like this guy. He's like, either you know or you don't know. You either know that these gurus are bad and molesting kids and sticking up for each other and saying they're going to become ghosts or whatever. You got to know the insanity of these people. You got to know their history. You got to know that. If you don't know it, how dare you recommend this cult to somebody? If you don't know that they got the Nar Narayans running around, whacking their wives around and raping them and all this shit, you got all these Rupa Manjaris, abused women that aren't talking out, ain't speaking out because they're afraid or whatever. All these abused kids. And these gurus that are just like, fuck these kids, I don't give a fuck. And they, if you don't know that, why are you telling people that ISKCON's okay? And then to play this 50-50 bullshit. Yeah, I like some stuff about it, but I don't like some other stuff about it. Fuck that. What is it about you? Oh, I don't like the child molestation and the child marriage and all the abuse and the racism and the sexism and all that. But I do like the flowers and the food. Oh, fuck. Come for the food. Stay for the child abuse. What the fuck? Hey, Weird Planet. Weird Planet. I'm sorry. I think I missed you earlier. And Cumbersome, 1987. Clocking in. Hey, Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Rocket science gone wrong, man. The guy with the red dot, man. Oh, man. Oh, no, this guy is justice for little girls. I mean, that's the most important thing, man. I mean, that's the most important thing. These people are talking about we want to protect the children. We got a child protection office. You got a child protection office, but you're marrying off 12-year-old girls to 19-year-old men. How are you protecting that? What the fuck is that? Child protection office while you fucking, your guru says that the 12-year-old girl's got to get married to grown men. That's not protecting them. That's putting them in danger right there. How dare you talk about, well, we care about our children. We have a child protection office. Well, you know what? Maybe child protection office ought to read this friggin' conversation by Prabhupada. Maybe your fucking child protection office should read this conversation that took place in Mayapur February 27, 1977. No, they don't care. They don't care about they're all in on it. You can't make them, you can't get them to say, oh, child marriage is wrong. They won't do it like that guy in the email. All he had to say was, yeah, I'm not down with a child marriage. Because they know they got to agree with everything. It's a cult. They can't step out of line and say, oh no, that's that child marriage is wrong. It's Vedic. It's 5,000 years old, but you know, they can't do that. Like, why? That's what pisses me off. Like, why? Hey, Tim, how you going, man? Good to see you here. All right. What do we got? So, I think I'm done with that guy. He doesn't know if it's a cult or not. He doesn't know if it's a cult. He's confused. He ain't figured it out yet. He ain't figured it out yet. My 5 years in India make me realize that brahmacharis in ashrams in ISKCON join so they can have free shelter, food, chance to obtain green visa to the USA, and later white-bodied wife. That's all. And when you say it like that, people are like, you're generalizing. You're generalizing. But they don't know. They don't know. Like when I say, well, these gurus are molesting kids and they're sticking up for them, and they go, well, you're just generalizing. They're not all of them. Yeah, if you examine the situation, you look at each one of these ISKCON gurus, not one of them has come out and said that the child marriage is wrong, or that this guru is bad, or that guru. No, they don't want to say nothing. They don't want to say nothing. They don't want to be against it. They don't want to seem like they're for it. They just want to, they hope that Bhakti Vikaya, didn't you hear what he said? They don't want to talk about this shit because they know. Like that guy said, they know. These guys know in their hearts. In their heart of hearts, in their heart of darkness, they know. They know the truth. And like I was saying, just like these faith healers, he throws his jacket at this guy and he falls back and he puts his hand out. That's the same bullshit. These faith healers with that crap. Healing people with their hand on their head. Heal. And then the person's like, I can walk now. Man, if you've fallen for that bullshit, it's the same shit. That Gora Hari crap with these women, these people. I was watching that. I was listening to him talk. I was listening to him talk. It's driving me fucking crazy, man. It's driving me fucking crazy.
What in God's holy name are you blathering about?
So I was saying that the Western civilization way of socializing between genders was wrong and exploitation, but little did he know his idea of marriage is the work of the devil. Yeah, whatever he thought, he figured was coming from, if he thought it's coming from Krishna, might as well demon head eating a moon. If ISKCON was serious about protecting their children, they wouldn't let the likes of Bhavanan on the back or Lokanath. Exactly. And that's the thing, is that like I was saying last night, they want to say, well, Mike's got a vendetta. Mike's daughter, someone was saying this in the Gora Hari thing. They're like, well, Mike, his daughter was molested, and so, he's bitter or whatever. And it's like, it has nothing to do with my daughter. I mean, yeah, she's a victim. We're all victims. My daughter's no more of a victim than anybody else that's watching this video. But that's not the point. The point is, this is all your bullshit. I'm not making anything up. I'm not writing. I'm just showing conversations and videos of what you people are saying, what you people are doing. Your temple collapses in friggin' South Africa, kills 5 people. I didn't do it. I didn't make it collapse. I had nothing to do with Lokanath Swami molesting that little girl. I had nothing to do with Tatva Darshan ending up in a hotel in Phnom Penh with a 12-year-old girl. I had nothing to do with that. It had nothing to do with me. I had nothing to do with Bhavananda. I had nothing to do with Jai Tirtha getting his head chopped off. I had nothing to do with Hansaduta and with his drugs and guns and booze and women and all that. I had nothing to do with that. I had nothing to do with Yashodananda asking the Prabhupada if he could beat these kids. I have nothing to do with this conversation where Prabhupada is telling them to marry this 12-year-old girl and this 19-year-old man. Not a boy, he's a man. I didn't tell him to do that. They don't like that I'm talking about it. Well, why don't you like that I'm talking about it? This is your guru. Your guru, your books, your teachings. This is your Veda base. This is your gurus on YouTube talking about I don't want to be a ghost. Talking all this bullshit. You don't like that? You don't like that I'm showing it because the truth of what I'm saying just blows away all your bullshit. When you got Indra Yumna Swami sitting there rubbing his hands all over some little girl, and I'm talking about it, you can't hide it. When Indra Yumna Swami's on stage and he's dancing and singing in front of fucking 500 women, they're going, rah! Who the fuck does that? When did Prabhupada ever do that? You don't want me bringing, you want the attention you want people to watch it and love it. You don't want people to watch it and laugh at it. Well, why not? Aren't you strong enough? Aren't you spiritually strong enough? You can't, you people are so butthurt over Mike? With all your fake AI, all your fake bullshit about child marriage and Prabhupada said stay legal and Prabhupada, bullshit. We know the truth. You can't bullshit me. All the ISKCON gurus are questionable. I'd say, okay, I'm going to be honest with you. Only a couple of them are questionable. All the rest are fucking guilty of something. There's maybe 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 that have never done anything. And that's questionable. There may be 3 or 4 that have never done a fucking thing. That are just like, I believe that it's real, and I'm really trying. And there's a demon head, and there might be a couple gurus like that hook, line, and sinker, and don't realize, and just but I doubt it. All the rest, 99% of them, are guilty of something. Guilty of, if not straight, they're all guilty. They're all guilty of protecting these pedophiles. Which one has ever come out and said, I don't like that guru for molesting those children. I don't like this guy, and I don't like that guy. Who's come out like me when Tattva Darshan came along and said, I don't have anything to do with Tattva Darshan, I'm done. Who's done? Which one of their gurus did that? Which one of their gurus said, hey, this is all bullshit because you're letting these child molesting gurus back in, and Bhavananda and Rameshwar and Harikesh and all of these people and and I'm done. I'm done. Who did that? No, none of them. None of them have climbed up on the steps of the temple and said, hey, this shit's bullshit. Child marriage, that's bullshit. Domestic violence, bullshit. You shouldn't be hitting your wives. Well, Prabhupada said we could beat our wives. You think someone's going to go against that? True, the transparency and honesty does not exist in ISKCON. Piles mountains of lies after lies, frog stories and putanas. Exactly. Frog stories and putanas, Haridas's stories, a bunch of BS from all possible directions. Yeah. And they have all these stories to string you along. Like Ramananda Roy, he was so advanced. Like, you can get there. You can get advanced. Haridas Thakur chanting 1 billion names an hour. You can get there too. You can be advanced like that. Lord Chaitanya dancing in ecstasy. And you can giggle and cry just like that, like Gora Hari. This is all bullshit. And they want to feed it to these people. And they will eat it up. And you're a guru. And you throw some rice in the fire and say swaha enough times, and you're gonna be a guru too one day. They know fucking gurus, man. And it shows. All this shit shows. And that's why I'm saying I don't have to do anything. I don't have to make up any stories. I have plenty of stories to tell. In fact, I'm gonna finish that story from yesterday. So we get to Bangkok. We get to Bangkok, and Krishna Kata's got all this meth, crystal meth, and she did. We have these two adjoining rooms in this really nice hotel, and so she's got her daughter in one room, and then with the other room is me and Bir Lakshman and Radha Kun, and she comes in there with all this crystal meth, and he's chopping it all up, and we're like snorting up all this crystal meth in the hotel room. And then we bought some weed, we bought some pot from somebody, and so we're smoking in the hotel. We're smoking in the hotel, and we're doing crystal meth in the hotel while we're waiting. This is our layover to go to Vrindavan. And this is what Radha Kun told me. He says, this is what you do. You come to Bangkok. He said, this is what you do. You come to Bangkok and you get it all out of your system. You just get it all out of your system. And then you can go to Vrindavan and you can be, because we're going to India, boys. We're going to India. So we got to get it all out of our system. So let's just, so we got stuck. We got stuck in Bangkok for like a couple days. We couldn't get out. There were no flights. We didn't have a flight from Bangkok to Delhi. That segment we didn't have. So we're trying to get a flight out, and it took us like 3 days. It took us like 4 days, like on the fourth or fifth day. We spent a lot of time in Bangkok. You know, we're like, we're just partying out. We're partying out in Bangkok because we can't get a flight. And she got all this crystal meth, and we got all this weed, and we got crystal meth, and we're not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere. And so we're just like partying. We're just partying in Bangkok, and then all of a sudden, and we're calling every hour. We're calling to try and get a flight. We're trying to get a flight from Bangkok to Delhi, and we can't get. All the flights are sold out. There's only like, I don't know, like maybe 5 flights a day or something, right? But they're all sold out. We can't get a flight out. And so we're in the room, and we're partying. We're partying, and all of a sudden, Krishna Kata is on the phone with the travel agent, and she's like, "Oh, because we needed 5 seats. It wasn't like 1 seat. We needed 5, so we needed 5 seats. So she's like, "We got 5 seats, but we gotta go pay. We gotta go get the tickets now. We gotta go." So we had to like boogie off to the opposite, to cross town. We had to like on the other side of Bangkok, like I don't know, on the other side of the traffic, whatever. We had to go to the other side of the traffic to this travel agency and buy these tickets. And so we get down there, and the flight is for today. It's for the same day flight. So it's like you got to be at the airport by like 4:00, and it's like 1-2 o'clock. So we rush back to the hotel, and she goes, "Well, I'm not bringing this crystal meth." She goes, "I'm not bringing this crystal meth." So we got to just do it all. So we're just sitting there, and we're doing lines. I mean, we're doing lines like it's cocaine. I mean, we are. And then we boogie off to the airport, and it's the old airport. It's not the new airport. It's the old airport. Anyway, we boogie off to the airport, and we get on the plane, and we're going, and we're on the plane, and I'm sitting there, and I'm just like, the whole flight, I'm just like geeked out of my mind, just like, and then we get to Vrindavan. We finally get to we spent a night in Delhi my first time in Delhi. I had never been to Delhi before, and we were in this hotel, and there's like cockroaches all crawling all over the place, and there's like things crawling around, and the lights on, and there's like there's all kinds of mouse running around, and there's cockroaches running around, and there's like geckos running around, and like all kinds of stuff in this. And I felt like I was outside. I had all this stuff, and then we had to turn out the light and go to sleep. And I was just like, man, I don't know about this. I don't know. I don't think I slept. I don't think I really slept. I was like, I was too hyped and whatever. And anyway, and then we headed off to Vrindavan after that. And then when we get to Vrindavan, we get our room. Radhakun's like, I brought that weed with me. He's like, I got this weed, but I'm not smoking it. I'm chucking it. And I was like, I was like, after what happened in L.A., they almost threw us. We only got busted because Krishna Kata had a thing of meth, and now you just smuggled weed into India. I'm like, what the? Like, no, it's okay because I'm throwing it away. But anyway, so that's where that story was going yesterday. In case anybody was wondering where that story was going. So now let's see. So I wanted to show you this thing. This is, I think this is another Rafal video. I'm just praying that for the day that some kind of personality comes down to earth and defeats the ISKCON Vedas philosophy. I don't know if that's going to happen. I think maybe one day it'll fade away. I think it'll fade away, man. I hope so. I really hope it just fades away. The Kalki Revenge Avatar. Yeah, Kalki there was a statue of Kalki in front of the LA temple, and they got rid of it, and it was a really cool. It was a really good, cool temple statue out there. I agree, Mike. I've noticed and observed a few of the ISKCON Swamis haven't done anything, but yeah, they're still guilty of protecting criminals. Yeah, like I think of, a couple of the Krishna Kumar Swami, who's Bhakti Vaidurya Madhava, whatever he is now. He seemed like a really nice devotee, and he I don't know what he's doing. I don't know, he could be molesting kids. He had 2 boys living with him, but he was a nice guy. He didn't seem creepy. He didn't seem egotistical. He didn't seem all puffed up like he was the greatest thing in the world. He was really like a down-to-earth, normal guy that just seemed like he really knew a lot about this Krishna stuff. I don't know. And I never worshipped the guy or got down and bowed down to him or anything, but I respected him because he was a Swami, and he just knew so much. He had all this shit in his head. Like Kusakrata. Kusakrata lived there, and he was translating the Goswami's books. That was really smart, man. If you're translating the Goswami's books, and really translating them in a set, he had the Sat Sandarbha or whatever. He translated the whole thing, and his books are like. Not anything, but I'm just saying that guy was like really smart, and he was just like a normal. Kusakrata was just like a normal guy. Some of these guys are not. They just seem like normal guys. But again, you don't know who they are. People could have been saying that about me. Well, you don't know who Sri Mukunda is. And they did, and they didn't. They didn't. We don't. At the LA temple, they probably thought I was a really cool guy. But they didn't know that on the in the hotel room in Bangkok with Radhakund, Bir Lakshman, and Krishna Kata, that we were doing all this meth and smoking weed. So here they could have been saying, yeah, that Sri Mukunda he's a really pucka guy. He's really cool. But here I was in Bangkok. Doing meth with these guys in a hotel room. So, hey Travis, how you doing, man? Good to see you here. So yeah, all you guys that just came in, joined in, I just want to apologize about last night. Everything seems fine now. Everything right, sound, everything's good. My computer, the screen's working, everything. Prabhu Vishnu ex-Swami also loved Bangkok. Got caught red-handed with a working lady by his Aussie disciples. He got caught actually still in ISKCON as a salary-bound GBC in Mayapur. He got caught a couple times, I believe, not more than once, I believe. And that's what I'm saying. These guys, and that's why I say that guy is right. That's why I say that Chaitanya Swami, whatever, Krishna Balaram Swami, is right. I say that he's right. And even if he's a scammer, you know what? I doubt if you're ever going to find him on Soy Cowboy in Bangkok or on Walking Street or in Phnom Penh in a hotel with a 12-year-old girl. I doubt it. You might, because these Indian gurus, the Sai Babas and the Maharishi yogis, they're not immune. They're not immune to any of this stuff. But if we were spinning a wheel and I had to place my bet. And you had all these ISKCON guys on there, and then you had him on there. I'm going with him that he wouldn't, just based on the track record. And I don't know that other guy. He might have a track record. His temple might have. Say, well, Mike, didn't you know that Chaitanya, that Krishna Balaram guy, his temple, there was a bunch of abuse there. No, I don't know that. I don't know that. And if you tell me that and you say, well, that guy was accused of child molestation, and I'd say, there you go. I'm not trying. Yeah, he frequents Southeast Asia and he gives classes at ISKCON. And that's the thing, is these guys, and that's why Sri Maya can give a class, Radhakunda can give a class, these 50-50 Swamis. They know good and well. Sri Maya knows good and well. He shouldn't be sitting on no Vyasasan giving a lecture about anything. Not when he's, and that's the difference between me and Radhakund. I'm in a hotel in Bangkok, and I'm doing meth and I'm smoking weed and we're partying and we're getting ready to go to Vrindavan, and I recognize that I'm doing that and that it's wrong, that I'm not following and all this. Radhakund is like, oh, no problem. Once I get to Vrindavan, I'm not going to be doing that anymore, and I'm going to be sitting on the Vyasasana, and I'm going to be lecturing, and I'm going to be Mr. Hare Krishna. Where I'm like, well, no, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. I'm not going to Vrindavan to pretend to be Mr. Radhakunda or Mr. Sri Mukunda. I'm like, I don't deserve to be there because I'm the new guy, and I'm like, I'm the new guy that doesn't know anything. It shouldn't be surprising that I'm in a hotel room in Bangkok doing meth and smoking weed. But you guys are the old-time Prabhupada disciples. You guys that know this shit inside and out. And Krishna Katal, all three of you. The three of you together got like 60 years of 40 years of Hare Krishna compared to me. I've been in for 4 years. And yeah, I'm prone to fall down. I'm prone to be like, yeah, this is good. Yeah, you got meth and some coke. You got some coke, some meth, whatever. Yeah, it sounds like a good idea. It sounds like a lot of fun. But you guys are the ones that are preaching and telling me how this and that and all of this stuff. And then I'm in a hotel in Bangkok waiting to go to Vrindavan, and you guys are like, hey, it's party central. That's the difference. And then after you've party centraled in Bangkok, and we get on a flight, a 4-hour flight. It's a 4-hour flight. It's not like it took us a day to get there. You still got that shit in your system. That shit's still in your system. I was still high when I landed in Delhi. We get to Vrindavan, and now you want to be 50-50, Swami. Now you want to be, I'm Radhakunda, and I want to see if I can give a lecture, and I want to go to this temple, and I'm going to cry at Krishna's birthplace because I'm going to get emotional, and I'm going to shave my head and put on like, who are you trying to kid? I know you're not trying to fool me, as I've known you for the last 3 years. I know exactly who you are and what you do. And now you're bitching at me in Vrindavan about because I got sick. And I'm not devotional enough because I'm half dead with cholera or dysentery or whatever the fuck I had. I bet more people would leave ISKCON than stay. It would be interesting to see the stay. Oh, definitely more people leave than stay. Absolutely more people leave than stay. True. Rohini Kumar gave away positive vibes. Just so you know, he spoke like 12 languages. I didn't know he spoke 12 languages, but he knew his shit, and we would go get him to help us with the translations, and he would solve that. We would rack our brains over shit. But he could understand Prabhupada's accent. He knew the verses, because Prabhupada only quoted, a couple dozen verses over and over again. It's not like Prabhupada had everything memorized. Prabhupada had he's like a stand-up comedian. He had his verses that he could just grab and go, hey, this and this one and this one. So Rohini Kumar, he knew the verses that, what Prabhupada's saying, especially if he's listening to what Prabhupada's saying, and he knows Prabhupada's going to say this verse, and then, and he was really cool when we would go talk to him, and I'd interact with him over that stuff, and even if I just saw him at the temple, because he would come into ITV so many times that when I saw him at the temple, I would talk to him, and I knew him like a friend, kind of. So he was always this really a nice guy, cool guy that, he's probably, I got to admit, him and Krishna Balaram, the white Krishna Balaram Swami from New Vrindavan, He was a really nice guy too. They were both like, and I guess ISKCON didn't like the other guy, but they were just really nice guys. They weren't like ISKCON guys. They were like ISKCON guys. That's probably why they didn't like them. They just seemed like this. I don't know. Someone said, "Don't be surprised if anyone leaves. Be surprised with those who still stay." Yeah, you got to be like, "What's wrong with that guy? What's wrong with that guy?" Yeah, what's wrong with that guy that he's staying? And that was the thing, is like when I came to the temple and I saw these people there, and they all seemed like normal people, and they seemed like normal people, and they were doing all this stuff, and it made me seem like it was okay. Like it was okay. Like it was okay to do it. And that's the scam. That's the scam, man. Yeah, so many of these phrases that you hear, that we heard, is cult tactics that we didn't know. We didn't know the shaming, the brainwashing, the indoctrination. We didn't know it was happening. We just didn't know it was happening, and that's why it's so dangerous. And we're letting it happen because we're thinking we're on a 5,000 year journey, this spiritual journey, 5-year-old tradition. And we were in our past lives, we were getting to this point, and now we're here, and we got Krishna, and we don't want to give it. It's all this bullshit, and and got sucked into that shit. Yeah, 50-50 Swami, villain at night, savior by day. He's like a superhero. I'm super Swami. I'm mild-mannered devotee during the day. I'm a karma-taking guru by day, but at night I take off my guru outfit and I become karma man. And I go out and I do karma, and I go to the strip clubs and I smoke weed and I do meth. And I hang out, and I do all these things. And then in the morning, when 4 o'clock comes, I get up and I take a shower, and I put on my superhero Swami, and I become Super Swami. And I go to Mangalartik, and I'm dancing, and I'm chanting, and maybe give a lecture, and then go on a japa walk, and I'll go do parikram, and visit some temples, and I'll have some spiritual discussions with some of the pujaris at some of the really old temples, and I'll cry when I see Radha Gopinath. I'll cry, and when I see John Mastastan or whatever it's in Mathura, I'll cry there, and I'll just get really emotional, like Gora Hari and Hot Lips, and I'll play that game. But then at night, I'm going to go back to being Karma Man. Karma Man, yeah. Yeah, definitely good at making you feel inadequate, and you'd never be good enough. It's just like it's in the shaming. It make you feel dirty, make you feel inadequate just for being human. Just for having human feelings and like just being attracted to a woman, or wanting to fall in love and have a relationship with someone, or just craving something to enjoy that's not japa, and make you feel bad about it and shame you, and you self-regulate. It's like to where you don't want to go to the movies, you don't want to go bowling, you don't want to do anything that you used to do. All the stuff that was fun that you used to do, all the hockey games and the baseball games and all the horror movies and all the and surfing and whatever it was that you like to do, that shit is over. That shit's over. All right, so hey, Howard Johnson, I don't know if I said hi before, but yeah, thanks for joining in. One thing I noticed in this Hare Krishna community is that the spiritual narcissists are literally wearing emperor's new clothes. Yes, they will put a blind eye to crime and pretend they are, I don't know what you tried to say there. Absolutely. Absolutely. Is daily dal enough protein, I wonder? They say it is. They say it is. You look at some of these Hare Krishna, I don't know how healthy their diet is. I don't think their diet is healthy because a lot of them gain a lot of weight. They gain a lot of weight. There's a lot of ghee, there's a lot of butter, there's a lot of sugar, there's a lot of, I don't know. There's a lot of that stuff. I know I gained weight. All that Mahaprasadam that I was getting at the LA Temple, man, I put on some pounds. And it's not, it's not healthy. I mean, it's fattening. And fattening's not healthy. And now, what they're eating in India, they're just getting like a bowl of khichdi in India, a couple bowls of khichdi in India, and some yogurt and a banana. That's not enough. That's definitely not enough. But if you're in the West, if somebody's in the West, and they're eating like their Mahaprasadam, and it's loaded with ghee and butter and all kinds of fattening stuff, just I know, karma man. I'm karma man. Dun, 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 dun. Karma. Yeah, so yeah, exactly. Surfing's bad unless you're swimmer pod. Yeah. Like these guys have no problem doing all the fun stuff they want to do. Like Indrayumna Swami doing his traveling monk, and he's just going to travel around with it and party around. It's like, like if one of his disciples was like, hey, I'm going to just raise money so I can just tour around and play music and and travel around India, would he condone that? Would he say, yeah, that's a good idea, just go raise money? No, he'd be like, no, you got to send your money to me. You can't just go raise money and then just go party around India. Well, you do. And he'd be like, well, yeah, but I'm a guru. I can do that. I'm Indrayumna Swami. Who are you? I'm Indrayumna Swami. Yeah, well, Bhakti Venmo Swami said I can do that too. Why? Perfect. Exactly. Unless you're swimmer Ramipad. So how come swimmer pod's the only one that's doing this swimming? If swimmer pod can raise money to let's say swimmer pod can raise money to print 20 cases of books, how come his number one disciple isn't doing it? And he's raising money for 20 cases of books, and he got 40 cases of books. How come all his disciples aren't swimming and raising money to print these stupid books? You know why? Because it's a scam. That's why. It's a goddamn scam. And he thinks his disciples and people in ISKCON are dumb enough that they don't realize it's a scam. They think we're fucking stupid. Well, he doesn't know that Mike and Mike's chat box here is he doesn't know that we're all watching. And we're making fun and we're laughing and we're talking about it. He doesn't know that. So how come all his disciples aren't swimming around in the river raising money? If that's how you raise money, then everyone should be doing it, right? Doesn't that make sense? I mean, if he's raising money doing that, shouldn't he have at least 4 or 5 people doing it? They can go out and raise money, get people, however it's done. Why is he the only one who gets a swim? Fucking scammer. A scammer, that's why, because he's a scammer. I know, Karma Man. 50-50 Swami and Karma Man and his sidekick. 50-50 Swami, Super Swami, and his sidekick Karma Man. A boy wonder. Karma Boy. Super Swami and Karma Boy. Yeah, definitely their diet isn't the healthiest despite how delicious it was. You know, I gotta say, their food was that Mahaprasada was pretty good. But I've had good food. I don't miss it. I don't miss it. I've had good Indian food. I can get good Indian food where I am. It's not hard. You know, I had good Indian food all around where I am. But you know, it was good. I ain't gonna lie. It was good. Lots of rice and chapatis. But you got to get your hands on that Mahaprasadam. The Mahaprasadam at L.A. Temple was out of this world good. But the regular prasadam was just like what you get in the restaurant. That was nothing. What you get in the restaurant is you get at Govinda's restaurant. It might be good. It might be good. But that ain't no Mahaprasadam that they're feeding Lord Jagannath in the temple room. That ain't it. Rukmini Dwarkadish and Jagannath, Baladev and Subhadra are getting some top food. And if you're lucky enough to get your hands on it, which at LA they sold it, so you had to fork off some cash for that. But if you get your hands on some of that, man, that was so good. I'm just going to tell you, that was so good. Yeah. I don't know if they were using good rice. I think they were using the cheap rice. You don't want to get caught with that good rice. You don't want to get caught with that. Spirit, body, and mind. Yeah. Karma Man. Yeah, man. Maybe I'll have to write that. I'll have to write that out as something. And no matter what you do, Karma Man comes, sits, you wash his feet, and all is fine. The Karma Man come and take you away. The Karma Man come. Everybody stop. What's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. It's the Karma Man. He gonna come and take you away. Don't forget to drink that water. Karma Boy has to wash Super Swami's feet. Oh, I don't want to think about that scene. Oh man, 50-50 Swami, also known as Karma Boy. Yeah, and the good rice, man. Watch out for that good rice. All right, I got a couple more. We still got a few minutes left. We got a lot to go. Okay, so check this out. This is guys, I have so much fun. I have so much fun goofing on this bullshit cult because when I was in it and I tried to make a couple jokes, man, they were like, "You can't joke. You can't joke about Prabhupada. You can't joke about Krishna. You can't joke. You can't make joke. We don't joke around here." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, but I'm funny." I'm funny, man. I like to joke about shit. I don't care what's going on. I like to joke. And what, you guys have no sense of humor? You guys have no sense of, you can't take a joke? Oh man, that's opera. That's opera. So now this is my chance. This is my time. This is my time to joke.
Coming to Krishna consciousness was, there's no real, you can't really give any reason how you came because it's just a miracle that Srila Prabhupada came to the Western world and somehow he made it available to us. There's different stories, different kinds of reasons why people come externally. So I was a little materially finished and searching. And you're just thinking, there was a popular song out at the time that said, "I can't get any satisfaction."
Oh my God. So she, Okay, you talk about low vibration. You talk about low vibration, you know. I mean, listen, this lady, look, she said that when she joined, there was a song out called I Can't Get No Satisfaction. Okay, so that was like the 60s. So this is like, she's probably talking about like the late 60s when she joined, because I don't know that she was one of the first to meet Prabhupada. But she was, evidently, she joined in the 60s and she's still in it. She's still in this thing. And does she look happy? I mean, you'd think after 60 years of being in the best friggin' thing you've ever joined, being just immersed in this Krishna consciousness, that you'd be like Chevy Chase says in National Lampoon, you'd have a friggin' smile slapped across your face, a huge friggin' smile, like these
can't get no satisfaction. And that was basically what I was thinking by the end of my teens. It just seemed that there was no way of finding out what life was for. My parents...
So she couldn't get no satisfaction back then. She wasn't happy back then. Does she look happy now after 60 years with all those books? You can put all those books behind you and all the Prabhupada pictures and all the this and that, and it just doesn't make you happy. There's just no happy. You can pretend to be happy. You can force yourself to be happy. People in jail are happy. They're not happy, but they're getting by. They got their little room. They got their little book. They get to go eat. They go out to the yard. They get their little whatever. They have their little bit. Like just like Prabhupada says, we're all in the material world, and is happiness. But look at you. Look at these people. If she doesn't look any happier, seriously, us on the outside look so much happier than these people on the inside, and they want to claim that they're so happy. I mean, seriously, I am not. That's it. I'm not exaggerating. I don't have to exaggerate.
Their spiritual life was really, belonging to a particular race, belonging to a particular social.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I would think that if you found the greatest thing ever when you were like 18, and now you're like 70 or 65, and you've been in this thing for 50 years or whatever, right? You've been chanting and reading and traveling to India and going back, that you would be telling your story a little bit differently. You'd be telling your story like, oh, it was so exciting. It was the late 60s, and I was searching around for stuff, and I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know what I was doing. I had just graduated high school, and I was just out searching, and I ran into the Hare Krishnas. Oh my God, it was the greatest thing ever. I ran into them. I started chanting. I started reading, and then the next thing I know, it's 1987, and it was like 15 years go by, and I'm just having a blast. I'm traveling. I'm going to India. I'm going to Rathi Atras. We're doing all this stuff, and I'm selling books, and I'm out on the street. I'm having a great time. Next thing you know, it's 1999, and I can't believe it. Like, time is just flying by, and I'm just having a great time. I met this great guy. We got married. We had a whole fire ceremony, and it was just wonderful. And then my kid was just, it's like, if you were really happy and having a great time this whole time, wouldn't it show? Wouldn't you say? I mean, if I was telling somebody a story, like okay, let's say I took a trip. My girlfriend and I, we took a trip up to central Thailand, where these pictures. I took these pictures. We took a motorbike trip, and it was great. We went out. It was open air, and it was like it was 9 hours where we were going. It was 9 hours from where we were going. And we stopped. We went 4.5 hours, and then we stopped at a hotel and spent the night. And then we continued on the next day, another 5 hours. And then we got there, and we got our hotel. And then we went to this other place that was an hour away, and we spent the day there. And we had a great time. We stopped, we got something to eat. We did like a tour of these ruins that kind of look like this a little bit. And it was so much fun. We ate food. I bought some souvenirs. We drove back, It was an hour back to the hotel. And then on the way back, we took a different way back. We stopped at a different place, and where this place, where I took these pictures. And this place, all these monkeys running around, and we had so much fun. See, I'm telling a story, and I'm excited to tell it. Because I want you to understand how much fun it was, and I want you to understand the story. This is honestly how I feel when I'm telling a story. You know, we went on a motorbike ride, and we went 9 hours at a hotel, and we did all this stuff. It was fun. And if I was to tell you something about my childhood, same thing. I was 5 years old, first trip to Disneyland. I couldn't believe it. It was the greatest thing ever. I was like, oh my God. Half of the rides weren't open. Haunted House wasn't open. Space Mountain wasn't open. There was no Splash Mountain. There was hardly anything there. But I was a little kid. It was like 1967, and it was just amazing to be. It was amazing to be in Disneyland at 5 years old. And I remember, and my mom took. See, that's how you tell a story. That's how you tell a story when it's real, and you had fun and you're excited and it's fun. This is
thing, but that didn't make sense. So anyway, somehow or another, I was reading books, reading all kinds of nonsense philosophy that was getting me nowhere. And then I think a lot of my friends were also.
So this is the thing. She looks back on that time of her life with disgust. She goes, I was reading books on philosophy, and I wasn't going anywhere, and my friends. And it's like, that was probably the best time of your life, was right before you met these Hare Krishnas. You were out of school, the Rolling Stones are on the radio, you're probably smoking a joint, probably a hippie or something. You're probably having a great time. That was probably the best time of your life. It was like that year and a half before you met these fuckers. And then they turned you into this. Turned you into this. And now all she can do is sit there and talk about her time with Hare Krishna. Hey, Snoggle, great to see you, man. Come back again. I want to see you in here again. I love seeing everybody. And have a good night. So let me get back over here. Can't get no satisfaction. Join a cult that discourages personal satisfaction. Make it make sense. Exactly. Exactly. It's like it's the brainwashing. It's the brainwash. Prabhupada knows how to get these people. He knows what he's doing, and that's what knitting cult lady says. Like all these cult leaders, they all learned from each other because there's only a certain way to control a person's mind, whether it's the military, Alcoholics Anonymous, Jehovah's Witness, the Mormons, whatever it is. There's whether it's communist China, right? A Russian jail, whatever it is, the gulag, whatever it is. There's only certain ways to break a person and brainwash them and indoctrinate them. It's not like you can just. It's not like you can just come up with your own way and just start. No, you gotta use what works. And that's why they're all the same. That's why Scientology and Hare Krishna and Moonies and Children of God and all of these things, Alcoholics Anonymous and the military, they indoctrinate people. It's the same way. It's just the same way. And so, and so here you got this woman. Look at this. It's just so sad. Look at this. Her body language. Stockholm Syndrome by the book. Sad stuff. Pity. Look, she looks defeated. She's defeated. Her body, in her mind, she's happy. She's convinced herself she's happy. She's convinced herself Krishna is real. She's convinced that chanting makes her happy. She's convinced, Just like Hot Lips. Just like Hot Lips is convinced that the laughing and the crying is spiritual advancement. This lady is thinking the same. I'm miserable, but this is my karma, and I'm just whatever, and it's like I gotta take it. Look at that face, man. It's so sad. It is so sad. I mean, have you ever seen anybody in a cult that looks happy? Have you ever seen anybody in this cult that looks happy? Other than these gurus that are scamming everyone? They're the only ones that got a big fat smile on their face. Everybody else is miserable. I mean, seriously.
Searching. In the 60s, it was a time when people were getting very fed up with the status quo. So sometimes we listen to all kinds.
So she's getting, okay, this is the insanity. This is the insanity. People are getting fed up with the status quo, which is like, the establishment, okay, right? Which is follow the rules, obey, don't question authority. So she joins a cult where everything is obey, don't question authority, just follow the rules, do what you're told. And this is kind of how you know that it's all bullshit. She's just trying to make up a magical mystery story so that it can sound like something happened. And I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, but that's what it is. That's all it is. Look at her. She's so depressed.
The music, sometimes get up in the morning and chant Om, because we were attracted to Eastern things. It was very attractive.
Laughing at herself.
Sometimes people think hippies were just people who were just, completely out of it all the time. But a lot of people were just searching for the truth, and we couldn't find it. There was nobody who could give you any answers. So, that meant you're going.
So I found the answers in this failed chemist's book, this racist, sexist, homophobic book of fairy tales. I found the truth in there. That's what she wants us to believe.
Here, going there, reading this, reading that, associating with all kinds of people, thinking you could find an answer. So, when I was 21, I had a fairly decent job at the BBC in London, which was also really boring. I remember I used to go in the ladies and read a yoga book, and you knew.
Oh my God, she's laughing at herself. She's remembering and laughing at herself. She said, I worked at the BBT and it was really boring. It's sad stuff, man. Her body, I know, I already put this comment up, but I'm gonna put it up again. Her body language, Stockholm Syndrome, buy the book, sad stuff. It's pitiful. It really is. It really is. But if you really analyze it, we were all at a stage like that. I was at that stage, it was a pitiful stage for me. I was like with this Tattva Darjan shit. I'm working with Yashoda Nandan. I'm frustrated with this guru thing. I'm frustrated with the Ritviks because the Ritviks are just a bunch of bullshit. They're not dragging their ass. I was upset with the Ritviks because they were all old Prabhupada's disciples, and they didn't really give a fuck. They didn't give a fuck about people like me that were coming in and knew and wanted a guru, wanted to follow, wanted to do something, wanted to be on the spiritual path, and didn't want anything to do with these fucked up gurus. And the Ritviks are like, oh, well, we got this great program, but you ain't got no program. And for 10, 15 years, I'm like, let's do something. Initiate me. Or, let's have initiations. Let's open a temple. Let's do something on our own. Why are we just get together and just bitch about ISKCON? I hated it. And it was just like 15, it was like 10 years of that. More than 10 years of that. More than 10 years of just doing nothing. fun fact, ancient civilizations believed like ISKCON believes, but the only difference was desires were not suppressed. They drank beer, alcohol, beer, wine, ate meat. Yeah, they're probably doing a lot of worshiping weird gods or whatever. Okay, so I wanted to show you this. So we watched a few videos. I wanted to get this because this is the other thing I looked up. I'm glad I just reminded me. I mean, where is it? Okay. This shit about what is this one? I got to make it big. I can't get it. Oh, the book. The sad, that sad face. That sad face. Oh, that is so funny. Oh, that sad face. Oh, man. I have PTSD from cult tactics within religious institutions. That is, any establishment, gurus, bishops, prophets, priests, companies. You can work for a company that's like a cult, like American Express. It was very culty. It was very culty. It was, and I can't explain it. I'll analyze it one day. One day I'll analyze it with Knitting Cult Lady. But a couple of the jobs that I had, American Express and Beachbody, and a couple other, they're very culty. It was very cultish. Okay. These comments, I'm thinking, this guy's back again. This guy back again. Hare Krishna, Bhakti, Venmo, Swami. I respect and maybe understand your hatred towards ISKCON. But what I really feel is that Krishna consciousness should be ongoing. Yeah, well, you can go be Krishna consciousness. Just don't do it in ISKCON. And I said that many times. So that's it. Okay, I agree with you. If you want to chant Hare Krishna and that floats your boat, go do it, man. Just don't do it in ISKCON. And don't molest any little girls and don't marry any 12-year-olds, okay? That's it. Other than that, we get along and we agree on everything. we agree on anything. If you want to, that should be it. Look, dude, you want to chant Hare Krishna, go chant Hare Krishna. I understand that you hate ISKCON, but why don't you follow Krishna consciousness by your own? It actually helps in calming down oneself. Because it's not real. It's not real. And because it's not real, it doesn't do anything that you say it does. You're doing that yourself, whether you're chanting or not. If you want to calm down, you're going to calm down. Chanting is not going to calm you down. And if it does calm you down, you're just calming down. The chanting doesn't have anything to do with it. Now, if you want to chant to relax, and you think it's calming you down and you think it's fine, go do it. I have no problem with it. But I don't worship Krishna because Krishna is a character in a mythology. That's all it is. And if you want to believe something else, that's fine. Go believe it. But if you want to marry 12-year-old girls or 11-year-old girls, I'm going to say that's wrong. And if you want to worship gurus that are molesting little kids, I'm going to say that's wrong. Bottom line, that's it. I don't care. Hey, Jai Ganapati, how you doing? These cult freaks, man, they just don't get it. They just don't get it. Mr. Indian gentleman from Karnataka village. Well, at least you came back. At least you came back to hear the truth. And you came back to hear something, so something brought you back. That's all I can say. Hey, and great to see you, man. I love your profile picture. I love Ken. Yeah, and Krishna consciousness doesn't calm you down. But if you want to go do it, go do it. No one cares. Just go chant all you want. There's nothing. Hey, Eliana, great to see you. Deep programming. Yep. Yeah. No one's here arguing with you about chanting. I'm here talking about ISKCON is a pedophile cult, and if you're in it, you're in a pedophile cult, and I'm going to just assume that you're a pedophile. So if you're in ISKCON, I'm going to assume you're a pedophile. That's it. Now, I'm going to move on to what I was talking about, what I was just going to get to, because this is really interesting. And you know, Braj, you need to listen to this part. So I'm glad you came in right now. So I went to Google, and I said, Google, I said, hey, Google, what's the oldest Krishna temple? And Google said, thanks for asking. It came up and it said, identifying the oldest Krishna temple often depends on whether one relies on archaeological evidence or spiritual tradition. Well, we don't rely on spiritual tradition because we know that's not reliable. It's not reliable. So we're going to go with archaeological evidence because that's the only thing that we can rely on. We're not going to rely on someone's fantasy dream or what somebody wrote down in a book. You can, if you want, Braj, if you want to believe that, go right ahead. But we're going to go by archaeological evidence. Archaeological evidence. And I'm not saying that I'm not saying you need to tear these temples down. I'm just saying, let's find out how old they are. How old, how old is the oldest Krishna temple? If you want to say that Krishna consciousness is 5,000 years old, well, where's the 5,000-year-old Krishna temple? Where's the 4,000-year-old Krishna temple? Where's the 3,000-year-old Krishna temple? So let's look and see what it says here. Okay, let's just see. And I didn't write this. This is Google. This is Google AI searching archaeological sites and things that have to do with archaeological evidence with Google. Okay? Yeah, well, yeah, we're going to get to that. We're going to get to this, you know, we're going to get to let's see what Google says. Okay? So it says right here, the oldest Krishna temple, according to Google, says archaeological dating. Excavations have uncovered structures and inscriptions dating back to approximately 200 BC. So that's 2,200 years old. Now, it says structures and inscriptions, but do we really know that there was a Dwarkadish? Was there really a temple there? I'm going to go ahead and say, yeah. I'm not going to argue with this Google. I'm going to say that archaeological dating says that there was a temple there 200 BC. So that's 2,200 years ago. There was a temple, the Dwarkadish temple in Dwarka. Okay? Now the traditional belief, it says Hindu tradition holds that the original temple was built over 5,000 years ago by Krishna's grandson, Rajnava. But I don't believe that. Okay? There's no evidence of that. That's just what somebody wants to believe. That's it. This is what somebody wants to believe. So the current structure was largely expanded and rebuilt in the 15th and 16th centuries. So the temple that's there is only from the 15th century, but archaeological evidence shows that there was something there in 200 BC. Okay? It's not 5,000 years old. It's old. 2,000 years old is old. 2,200 years ago is old. The Guru Vayur Temple in Kerala. Historical evidence. The earliest written record date the site to the 14th century, though some historians suggest the central shrine could date between the 8th and 10th centuries of the current era. So that's 800. That's the 800s, 10th century. Okay? 1,000 years ago. 1,000, not 5, 1,000. So here it says again, traditional belief Devotees believe the temple is over 5,000 years old, founded by the deity's guru, Vayu, at the beginning of Kali Yuga. Krishna Janmastan Temple Complex in Mathura. This complex is built at the site traditionally identified as the birthplace of Lord Krishna. Historical dating. Archaeological findings of pottery and artifacts suggest religious activity at the site from at least the 6th century BCE. So 600 BC. So that temple, that complex there in Mathura is from 2,600 years ago. Not 5,000. 2,600 years ago. And then it says here, there's a Vasudev Krishna temple in Madhya Pradesh. Archaeological remains near the pillar point to an elliptical Krishna temple dating back to the 2nd or 3rd century BC. Okay, and is making it one of the earliest documented physical structures for Krishna worship. So one of the earliest that they can document that Krishna worship was happening is this Vasudev Krishna temple, dating back to, let's say, 300 to the 3rd century, so 2,300 years ago. So the oldest archaeological evidence that they have, that Krishna was being worshipped anywhere is 2,300 years ago, not 5,000 years ago. It's still a long time. It is a long time, but it's not what they say. They're not happy with 2,800 years ago because it doesn't fit their timeline of Kali Yuga and Krishna appearing 5,000 years ago and the whole that whole thing. It doesn't fit. So they don't care. They don't say 5,000. If they want to say 5,000, they say 5,000. They say 6,000 if they want. I mean, let's say 7,000. let's say 8,000. I've been to the Krishna Janmastan in Mathura. Yeah, I have been too. I've been there a couple of times. I've been there a bunch of times. Every time I go to Vrindavan, not every time. First 2 or 3 times I went to Vrindavan, I went there. And then didn't go because it's a pain in the ass. It's a pain in the ass. It's crowded. Now there's all these lines and gates, and they search you, and it's a whole. They go one by one, and it takes like an hour to get in. At least when I was there last time, I said I'm not waiting for this. I said I've been here too many times. I'm not going in there again. I'm not going in there. I'm not waiting. And my friend, it was funny because my friend. He took me like around the back or whatever, and he dropped me off in the TomTom. He dropped me off in the back, and with my wife at the time, and we went and we found the line. It was like this big. It wasn't no line. It was this big crowd of people. There was like hundreds of people crowding on this little street, and the street like dead ended with like a turnstile or something. I don't know, something. And I looked at this, and it was a madhouse. Okay, it was a friggin' madhouse. And I stood there, and nobody spoke English. And I don't speak no Hindi. And so I stood there for a while, and I looked around, and my wife was, she was like handicapped, so she couldn't handle it. And I said, you know what? We don't have to do we don't have to do this. We don't have to do this. And I left. I said I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go do this. And so it was done. Yeah, the Hindutvas are mad because they have no temple or structure to prove their civilization is 5,000 years old. Yeah, I know. They want the Rama, the Ayodhya temple, and all these. 700 million years ago, the dinosaurs were worshiping Krishna. Yeah, it's so funny. Meanwhile, the Egyptians, the Mayans, the Mesopotamians built structures to prove their existence with hieroglyphics. Yes, yes, absolutely. The Egyptians, the Mayans, the Mesopotamians, the Sumerians, the Babylonians. We know that they existed because they left evidence that they were there. There's no question that they were there. Just like there's no question that this thing exists. This thing behind me is 800 years old. That's old. 800 years old. You can imagine there was nothing around. But they built that temple there was nothing there. There was 800 years ago, because there's not much there now. 800 years ago. 800. Like in the 13th century. You know, 13th is like the Dark Ages or whatever. This shit's old. But we know it's there. It's not 500, it's not 5,000 years old. It's 800 years old. We know. We don't have to make it up. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. Those big old demons like Bakasura and company were actually dinosaurs. You know, there's probably some Hare Krishna somewhere trying to say, well, you know, I did some research. He's absolutely correct. They left evidence of their, and the best that they can do, and that's what I'm saying. If there was Krishna worship going on 5,000 years ago, then where is the evidence of it? Find it. Where is there an old temple or an old deity? Where is there remnants of something? Where is there anything that you can say, well, this was a Krishna temple, or here's a Krishna deity, or here's a carving of Krishna in this cave. Here's a cave painting of Krishna. Here's a old piece of pottery with Krishna on it. Here's an old, you know, cart wheel with a carving of Vishnu. Show us something, because we've got old stuff with stuff on it. And we don't have to make up stories and go, well, you know, the pharaohs, you know, that was you know, 5,000. You know, we have pyramids, we have hieroglyphics and all that stuff. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous that they want to say 5,000 years ago and they have absolutely no evidence for that. It's just take it on. It's just whatever we want to say. Freak on it. Yeah, I lost my faith when I went to Vrindavan. It was supposed to be a direct manifestation of heaven on earth, but in reality, it's a shithole. I had that same. Actually, so when we were on the plane, so we're in Bangkok. We're doing all this meth and smoking weed, and we get on the plane, and we're on the way to Vrindavan. It's a 4-hour flight. We're on the way to Vrindavan. And I'm sitting in the middle seat, and I got Beer Lakshman on one side, and I got Krishna Katha's daughter on the other side, because Radhakund and Krishna Katha are sitting together in behind us or in front of us. So it's Beer Lakshman, me, and I forget her name, Gopi or Govinda. I forget her name. So she's been to Vrindavan. She's like 16, 17 years old. She's been to Vrindavan a bunch of times. And we're sitting there on the plane, and I'm geeked out of my mind. And so we're cruising, and we're like maybe an hour or two from India, from Delhi, from landing. And so she looks over at me, and she says, so have you ever been to Vrindavan before? And I go, no, I've never been. Because I didn't really know her. I knew Krishna Katha, but I didn't really know her daughter. I said, no, I've never been to Vrindavan before. And she goes, oh, well, let me tell you, there's sewers, they have open sewers on the streets, and it really smells bad. And I was like, what? I was like, what? And she goes, yeah, sewers are run on, and it's really bad. And she goes, the streets are really dusty and dirty, and there's cows everywhere, and it smells like shit. And I was like, well, that doesn't sound like Krishna book. Like in my head, I'm like, that doesn't sound like Krishna book. And she goes, and then she's telling me other stuff too, like, like she's like giving me a heads up, like we're almost there. Do you know where we're going? And I was like, and so I had a heads up. Otherwise, I thought I was going into the spiritual world. I thought I was going into like peacocks and flowers and the trees are gonna be, everything, and monkeys playing and flutes, and I thought it was gonna be, I like you said, I thought it was gonna be heaven I thought it was gonna be heaven, because when you see the paintings and you see the temples and you see the gopis and you see the flowers and the thing, and you get there. And nothing like that at all. It is the opposite of that. It is brown. Everything is brown. The ground is brown. The buildings are brown and red, and there's no grass or anything. It's just dirt and dust everywhere, and old bricks. Everything looks old. Everything's old like this. Everything looks like this. I mean, they build something, and 2 days later, it looks like this. So nothing looks nice. Everything looks. The only thing that looked nice was the Krishna Balaram temple. That looks nice. Everything else is just dirty and dusty and covered in this. And I was in shock. I was in shock. Delhi was pretty bad, but it's a big city. Delhi was a culture shock. But if she hadn't told me, I don't know what I would have done. I don't know what I would have done, man. But it was definitely. I didn't want to say it was a shithole. I didn't want to say, hey, man, this is. I didn't want to make any offenses and go, what the fuck is this, man? What the fuck? What the fuck? T-Rex with Kartals and Mridungas. Well, you don't have to picture it in your mind. You can ask AI to make it for you, and it'll make a whole little video of a T-Rex with Kartals, the whole little dinosaurs on Harinam. You just say, hey, I want Harinam dinosaurs. There's rubbish and filth everywhere, and it stinks, and it's dusty, and it's oh man, it is. It's quite the experience, man. If she hadn't told me, I would have been in shock. We would have pulled up in a taxi in front of Krishna Balaram temple, and I probably would have said, "I'm not getting out of this taxi. What are you crazy?" But she gave me a warning. Yeah, the Vedas don't speak about dinosaurs. That itself is a big red flag. They don't talk about the Nephilim, unlike the Bible. Yeah, but they talk about the Yamadutas and all kinds of. They talk about the Yamadutas, man. When I'm not here to like just badmouth India, because I actually like going there. I like going there. It's rough. It's like camping to me. It's like mountain climbing. It's not a party. It's not a party, man. It's not Club Med, man. It's Club Fed Up. That's what it is. It's not Club Med. It's Club Fed Up, because you get fed up quick with all the bullshit there. You get sick. You get sick, and you just got to put up with the traffic. You got to put up with almost getting run over all the time. You gotta put up with bulls. These bulls, they're dangerous. If you gotta give them some space, and you gotta have your eyes open. Monkeys and. Oh, Vrindavan, the ultimate eye opener. Morning walk. Parikram, early morning, winter, foggy, walking towards the Madame Mahant temple. I know exactly where it is. Dude's doing number 2. Suddenly hog jumps and eats for. Oh, a hog jumps and eats the first. Oh, yeah, I seen that. I seen that that was my first trip. My first trip. We're walking like right down, like just past Krishna Balaram temple, heading into town, and we're on that road, that's Bhaktivedanta road, and we're walking, and there's some pigs walking, and there's a horse or a cow. And he just takes a big shit right in the middle of the road. And that pig just walked right up there and just started eating it, stick his snout in there, his snoot in there. And then he looked up and he had shit all over his face. I'd never seen that before. It was disgusting. And I was just like, oh my God. It was, and the other thing that I saw right when I got there, I mean, I was fresh out of the taxi. Standing right in front of the Krishna Balaram temple. Standing there, I got my bag. All of us, we're all standing there. Me, Bir Lakshman, Radhakund, Krishna Kata's daughter. We're all standing right there. And we're like, we got to get a room. We're kind of just standing there taking it all in for a minute, trying to figure out where we're going to go, what we're going to do. And this cow walks up and just starts urinating, like right in front of us, like just right up the road from, like right there, starts urinating. And you know, when a cow urinates, I don't know if anybody of you guys ever seen a cow urinate, but when a cow urinates, it's like turning on a faucet. It's like, wah, it's like, whoosh. And these two Indian boys that are like, I would say probably 17, 18, they're like teenagers. They're like probably high school. They go running up to the cow and they catch the urine in their hands and they start drinking it as the cow is urine, you know, because the cow is like, ah, and they're just like, ah. And that was gross. Okay, that was like probably the most gross thing. And I think I actually took a picture, but the picture that I snapped was after. I didn't catch them drinking it. I caught them walking away. And I have that picture somewhere. If I can find it, I'll break it out. If I can find it, I'll break it out and show you. Break it out and show you that picture. So, I think I've shown this picture before, but I'm going to show it again just because show and tell. This is when I was initiated. I got initiated in 2002. This is Jai Narayan. He's a Prabhupada disciple. This is Bhakta Jim getting initiated. He'd been around for like 25 years. He'd been around with Prabhupada. He was around when Prabhupada, but he never got initiated. And he was just Bhakta Jim. And they just called him Bhakta Jim for 25 years, for whatever many years. And so they decided they're going to have an initiate, because I was bitching. I'm like, I want to get initiated. I'm Sri Mukunda, damn it. And why am I not initiated? And so finally they said, okay, because they didn't want to piss off ISKCON. They didn't want, Yashodanandan didn't want ISKCON to go, oh, Yashodanandan is initiating people. So that's why he kept putting it off. But I was like, hey man, you gotta initiate me. So we got initiated. Bhakta Jim's wife, she was from Poland. She was either from Poland or the Ukraine or Czechoslovakia, somewhere. And she didn't speak too much English. She spoke a little bit of English. And then Jai Narayan. And so that's that. Okay. I'm just about done here, guys. I'm just about over. I think I got one more. So we were talking about the ancient sites. We were talking about this. This is not 5,000 years old. We were talking about. We showed the lady. We showed the lady that was depressed. So I'm going to show you this guy. This scumbag. This is how you know there's a bullshit religion.
Significant feeling I had after hearing that was not so much thinking about the mayor, but rather to think about how Prabhupada was so determined to keep everything nice.
I don't get it. I don't understand these guys. This is Harikesh. He's Hari. He's a big scammer. Ran off with a woman. Ran off with a bunch of cash, and now he's going to sit here. This video is 4 years old, but now he's going to tour around ISKCON and talk about what he remembers about Prabhupada. What he remembers back when I was scamming everybody. I'm going to tell you I'm going to tell you about the times when I was scamming everybody. This is before I bounced out with all the money. This guy is a piece of shit. How dare he come back? You failed at Krishna consciousness. You failed at it. Prabhupada appointed you a guru. In your mind, he appointed you as a guru. You were a pure devotee. You were Mr. Swami, Mr. whatever the fuck you thought you were, and you failed at it. You friggin' failed at it. And now you want to come back as if you didn't fail. And you have the nerve to show your face and say, yeah, this shit doesn't. See, he's even worse. This is why I like that other guy. This is why I like that other guy. This guy's worse. Because the other guy goes, you guys are all fakes and frauds. You guys are fakes and frauds. You ISKCON people are fakes and frauds. You know in your hearts you're not real. You know it's fake. You've got no spirit. You're zero. He goes, you guys are big zeros. You got nothing. And this guy proves it. He proves him right. But what does he do? He comes back. I'm going to come back. Because I'm an even bigger piece of shit. I'm such a big piece of shit that when I bounce out with $7 million and my therapist, and I go buy a big house in the French Riviera, where the fuck he bought his house, I'm such a big piece of shit that's not enough. That's not enough. Let me come back and just rub your nose in it. I'm going to come back and rub your nose in it, and I'll tell you about all the old times. What the fuck is wrong with these people? Who wants to listen to this fuck? That's what I'm talking about. This guy, that old Swami guy is right. These guys are nothing. And it shows that they're nothing. If he had any sense of honesty and truthfulness and goodness, he'd say, hey, I fucking cheated these people. I'm gonna apologize, and I'm gonna bounce out, and I'm just gonna go off somewhere because I'm a big piece of shit. You know, he can't do that. He can't do that. Did you give the people their money back? When you came back, did you bring some money so you could give all these people their fucking money back? You fucking piece of shit. How much money did you collect over the years when you were scamming everybody? Did you bring them? You came back, but you didn't bring the money back? Oh, you want back in now. You want back in now. You know what? I think I can scam these people some more. I don't think I'm done scamming them yet. Hell, they let me back in. If they'll let me back in, I guess they're dumb enough to let me scam them again. The no plumbing zone. Oh, man. Hey, good afternoon, Queen of Karma. Hey, I'm glad to see you here, man. I was telling about the guys that were drinking urine, cow urine. Talking about how these guys are nothing but scammers. All the stuff that's right up our alley. Talking about dinosaurs playing the cartels. Dinosaurs on book distribution. I just need a large groupie following me around and sponsoring me to Rishikesh to wear a $6,000 swimsuit so I can swim in the cold water. I know. These guys are such scammers, man. These guys are such scammers. You grew up next to a farm was surrounded by cows, so you know the joys of that, of the aroma. Jenna, good to see you, Jenna Morton. I'm sorry you came in late. I'm just about to end this thing. Yes, I've seen that quite often, but not all Indians does it. Only the brainless in Vrindavan. Yeah, I don't. Well, they were the only two that did it. It wasn't like everybody was lining up, and they looked right at me, and I snapped their picture. But they looked right at me like yeah, this is what we do. Like they were proud of it, and I'm not giving them a hard time of it. You want to do that? Hey, knock yourself out. Over the hatch. You know, down the hatch, you know what I mean? Down the hatch. Oh my God, yeah. Gentleness on steroids. Woo, that is humility. It's prevalent all over. It's prevalent all over India. Yeah, I mean, they acted like it was nothing new. It was nothing new. I don't understand getting initiated into a group when you don't speak their language. Well, you know, they have books in every language, so she can read the books in the language. She spoke a little bit. She was like Melania. She spoke a little bit of English. Not like fluent English, but she spoke like broken English. So she could communicate, but, you know, it was... But the books are in, Prabhupada's books are in every friggin' language there is, every language. Please don't ever give your autonomy over like that. Hari Kesh looks familiar. Yeah, these guys, man. These guys. Yeah. Original 11th Acharya, Hari Kesh Swami. Robert Campagnolia, Sri Vishnupad, ran away with $7 million and a therapist, and his female therapist, and then he went and he bought a big mansion on the French Riviera, and he just hung out for like years, for like 15 years or so. He just told everybody, "Fuck you." Over the last few years, the only things being posted to YouTube about Hare Krishna is festivals, dances, and songs. They do like 12-hour streams of the chants, etc., but don't post many interviews. Yeah, there's a couple. You know, if you want to watch people talking about it, you can watch the Namaras podcast and this Hare Krishna Project podcast. You can watch Wisdom of the Sages. There's a lot of people on there like giving lectures, and they act like their teacher is going to teach Bhagavad Gita. Wait a minute, what is this guy saying? Okay, now we're going to get into it with this guy. But then why don't you follow Krishna consciousness? Why? Dude, I followed it for 20 years. It's a pedophile cult. ISKCON is a pedophile cult. Okay? Krishna consciousness is not real. It's just not real, dude. Okay? I don't want to get into it with you, but it's not real. Almost like they realized they needed only positive PR because they were getting a bad reputation by past members. I don't want to generalize, but I think that most people that leave, and some of the people in this chat will either agree or disagree. I think that most people that leave ISKCON, one, they don't know that it's a pedophile cult. They don't realize the damage it's doing. They get in and they get out and they don't know. Two, they just want to get on with their life and they just don't want anything to do with it and they just move on. Three, they're afraid of whistleblowing. They know the guy got shot. They know these guys are freaks and crazy, and they don't want anything to happen to them. They don't want any of these freaks coming and threatening them and threatening to do bodily harm to anybody. So that's why you don't see a whole lot of, you don't see a whole lot of anti-Krishna stuff. It's just, for those three reasons, basically for those three reasons. I'm sure there's other reasons, but it's so weird, like a Twilight Zone. It is, and Queen of Karma. I don't know when you came in, but earlier in this live stream, I was showing how AI. If you ask AI, ChatGPT or Google AI, if you ask it about ISKCON, it'll argue with you and tell you it's not a cult. But if you put in specific quotes and specific text from their conversations and their books and all that stuff, AI will say, "Hey, this is a cult." So, and I was showing earlier about how about the child marriage, how AI just gives a lot of bad, wrong information based on the information that's on the internet. I went through a whole thing about that, and that's either you're in or you're out. Yeah, I know, you're in or you're out. Yes, that's why it's important to speak out about it. There's so much good press, and absolutely, and the fact that guy contacted me means that and my views are going up and up and up. I mean, there's a lot of people that are watching live, than I used to get. I used to get half the. It's called safe pointing. They safe point. They go. That's a Scientology word, but it's the same thing. They go and they safe point. They find someone in the city council, someone in the police department, someone in the city hall, and they buddy up. They buddy up with them, and so that whenever they have a problem, they have like an in. So they know Sergeant Stadenko, and if anybody has a problem, they call Sergeant Stadenko, and they go, "Hey, Sergeant, we got a buddy down here. We need to come in and, kick this guy out." And then Sergeant Stadenko comes down, and then, or if they need their permit down at Venice Beach, they go down and they talk to their person down at City Hall, and they go, "Hey, we want our permit for the Venice Beach, don't listen to anybody about our pedophilia, just give us our permit." So that they definitely do that. It's okay, you've asked this question like 4 times already, okay? It's not real. Chanting doesn't do anything. It's all a bunch of hooey, okay? You're reading these books. These books are not real. They're fake and phony, okay? Okay? So you ask me again, I'm going to tell you the same thing. It's not real, dude. It's not real. Yeah. He emptied. He went in like gold. He just like took everything out of Gold Knox, Fort Knox. He took that bastard emptied Sweden, German BBT, Russian stock market monies run by his disciples. Yeah, he's a scumbag. He's a scumbag. That's why I'm saying he ripped off so many people for so much money, and then he wants to just come back like nothing ever happened. And like, where's that money, dude? How about you pay some of these people back? I know Hans Duda. I don't think Hans Duda paid everybody back, but Hans Duda wrote made these 2 big magazines, like books. It wasn't a book, but it was like a big, like Life magazine type thing, really nice, where he apologized to all his disciples with all their names in the book, and he like wrote it was a book, and he wrote, I'm sorry. He wrote an apology, and then all this explanation, and he, what he was going to do for Krishna consciousness and Prabhupada and all this. But basically, it was just like an apology to his disciples for scamming them. I mean, at least he did that. I'm not saying that he's a great guy. He's a scumbag, but at least he did that. At least he did that. This guy could have done something like that. He had $8 million. He had $8 million of their money. I know. It's like no God that loves you would make you do such a thing and then punish you if you weren't doing it. It just makes no sense. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry you feel that God has to command us to do certain rituals and things, and if we don't do them correctly, then we get punished for it. I don't subscribe to that type of religion or way of life. And if you want to subscribe to that way of life, you can go ahead and do it, but you don't need to do it here. If you get so much pleasure from Krishna and you get so much pleasure from chanting, why are you in here? Go enjoy Krishna. Go enjoy chanting. The fact that you got to come in here and bother us with your Krishna stuff means that there's something missing in your Krishna stuff. Like there's something missing. Like you want me to believe that chanting does this and it does that and it's perfect and it's 5,000 years old, but yet why are you in here? Why aren't you chanting? Why aren't you out chanting somewhere and selling somebody a book? Why don't you go do that? If that makes you happy, so much happier than being in here. No. What makes you happy is coming in here and preaching to us about how happy you are. Well, fuck you. I don't give a fuck how happy you are. Yeah, exactly. How am I supposed to be a good person because exactly, Queen of Karma, because they don't recognize people doing any good. Like I've said, a doctor that's inoculating poor people so they don't get disease and die, bringing clean water into a village that has no clean water, building toilets for people that have no toilets so they don't get cholera and dysentery and die of diseases that people shouldn't be dying of. Driving a bus, getting people around the cities because they need to get to where they need to go, and they got no way to do it. So they get on a bus, and the bus driver, out of the goodness, he's getting a paycheck, but that is a thankless job, but he does it. And he drives people around, he gets hassled, he gets yelled at, people spit on him, whatever, but he does it. That person's doing some good. All of these people in society are doing some good for society. I mean, I was answering the phone for American Express, booking people's vacations and whatever they needed to book. I wasn't like, I don't need an award for that, but I was helping people with life. What good is chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna? What does that do for anybody? It does absolutely nothing for anyone. Nothing. It does nothing for anyone. Meanwhile, you're going to make fun of the taxi driver and the bus driver and the doctor and the nurse and all of these people that are actually doing something. Oh, fuck them. Fuck you and your cult. Fuck them. Fuck them. That's how they think. They think that all these people are actually doing stuff, saving lives and helping people, doing stuff. They think like, well, fuck them. They're not chanting Hare Krishna, so they're demons. Well, fuck that. Fuck these Braj Mohan and these fuckers. It's horrible. These are horrible people. And I hate to have to say it, but I do. They're horrible people. If something bad happens to you, that's your karma. Like they can't even feel sorry for you if you break your arm. You break your arm, they're like, well, that's your karma. It's yeah. What does it do in your everyday life? You tell me. You tell me what it does. Does it pay your rent? Do you get a discount at the AM PM when you chant? Do you get a discount at the store? Do you get free gas because you chanted 5 rounds today? What do? Do you get free groceries? Do you get what do you get? Do you get frequent flyer miles for every round you do? What do you do? What does chanting do for you? You tell me. You tell me, Bhakta Braj Mohan, what the fuck does chanting do for you? You gonna tell me it makes you happy? Well, I've been watching videos all night of miserable people that don't look happy, and they've been chanting Hare Krishna for 50 fucking years. You gonna tell me that they're happy? They ain't happy. You lie to yourself and then lie to me? You don't lie to me. I know. I chanted Hare Krishna for 20 years. You gonna tell me? You act like I don't know. Act like I don't know. Dude, how old are you? You look like you're 14 and you're trying to tell me something? Give me a break, man. It doesn't help with anything. It helps with absolutely nothing. Nothing. He's going to say, oh, it calms the mind. It awakens your love of God. All of these things that you can't, that have no meaning. All these things that have no meaning. Like this one girl, I said, what is your guru doing for you? He gives me love of God. I said, what is that? And she had no answer. She had no answer for what is love of God. What is it? He's giving it to you. Obviously, if he's giving it to you and you're accepting it, tell me what it is. Tell me what it is. She couldn't tell me. She can tell me the 9 types of devotional service. There's 9 types of devotional service. There's the giving gifts, exchanging words, being poet, whatever the fucking 926, whatever all those things are. But that doesn't tell me what love of God is. That this guru is giving you. He's giving it to you. He's giving it to you. So what is it? It's just some abstract thing, some abstract thing that I can't explain it. You'll know it when you feel it. Oh, it's in the heart. It'll come. It'll illuminate you. It'll start down here and it'll go up. Fuck that bullshit. I've heard it all. I've heard it all. I don't want to hear it anymore. I don't want to hear it anymore. Life is more than being a slave to Krishna and Prabhupada. Exactly. That's what I'm saying, man. This cult and all cults, it's just a form of guru worship, worshiping some guy. Whether it's Jim Jones or David Koresh or the Nexium guy or whoever. You're just worshiping this guy because you think we know what it is. It's indoctrination and brainwashing, but that's all it is. And then you're a slave and you've got no life, and then your life is over and you're dead and you're gone. Exactly, Queen of Karma. It's completely hidden, even from the public now, as much as possible. Nobody would join if they knew the truth. That's exactly it. If your very first, if you walk down to a Hare Krishna temple and you said to the person in the temple, and you said, "What is all this?" They're not going to tell you. They're not going to tell you what it really is. They're going to, it's an ancient tradition. It's 5,000 years old. Comes from India. It's Gaudiya Vaishnavism, and Krishna appeared 5,000 years ago in India, and Lord Chaitanya appeared 500 years ago in Navadvip, and he started the Sankirtan. And they're not going to tell you what's really going on. They're not going to tell you that these gurus fall down with children and they let them go and they we forgive our gurus when they molest children. They're not going to tell you that. But that's exactly what they do, but they're not going to tell you that. They're not going to tell you that they marry their 12-year-old daughters off to grown men. They're not going to tell you that, but that's what they do. But they're not going to say it. They're not going to say that the men, smack their wives around and the wives just take it because that's what it says in the scriptures. And they say that, but that's what they do. It's all a bunch of bullshit. That's why you got people like Bhakta Braj Mohan coming in here and just spouting off a bunch of bullshit because he just wants to repeat the bullshit that he's heard. I know. Sorry to break it to you, man. Sorry to break it to you. But you've been indoctrinated and you've been brainwashed. You've been indoctrinated and brainwashed. And I guarantee it. I guarantee one day you're going to wake up and you're going to realize that this has been a scam. And you're going to remember Mike on YouTube was the first one to point it out to you. Absolutely. Absolutely. People who join cults are usually genuinely good people who want to help others and they want a good afterlife if they believe in that. And they become brainwashed and they get turned into, in ISKCON, they become pedophiles. They forgive pedophilia. They forgive gurus that molest children. This is all coming from the cult. These are good people that would never, ever say that child molestation is okay. They would never say that 12-year-old girls can marry grown men. They would never agree with this shit. But they get indoctrinated into this cult, and the next thing you know, they can't say no. They can't say no. Like this guy, he wouldn't say no. He's sending me emails, and I'm saying, dude, just say child marriage is bad. Just say child marriage is bad. He wouldn't do it. He wouldn't do it. Eliana, exactly. A young Bhakta, product of Bhakta Naive program. The Bhakta Naive program. He's shocked to the core. He realized that we know what we're talking about. Yeah, and I'm sorry. It's better that he's shocked now than he gets shocked 20 years from now like I did. Fuck, man. I wish someone had told me. I wish someone had told me, man. This is the only channel I have found that tells it as it is. Well, thanks. I appreciate that. I do. I really appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. We use the bite model, Stephen Hassan, yeah, and influence continuum to see if it's a cult. Even Stephen Hassan says it's a cult, the cult expert. Yeah, he knows it's a cult. He knows it's a cult. But he's not a hardcore cult guy. He's kind of softcore. He's kind of a softcore cult guy. He could be a little bit more. But yeah, he agrees. He agrees it's a cult. Jai, absolutely. It will take time for him to detox and be deprogrammed. May he be set free from all these ultra-conservative and religious fanaticism. Yeah, and that's why I was saying, if you want to chant, go chant. If you want to worship Krishna, go worship Krishna. I'm not coming down on any of that. I'm coming down on this cult. And that's why there has to be a distinction between ISKCON and everything else. Because I'm not attacking everything else. I'm attacking ISKCON. It's a cult. It's a pedophile cult. And I got to keep harping on that because people want to get it twisted. They want to get it twisted and say, you're attacking Hindus. You're attacking Indians. You're attacking the religion of India. And you're saying, no. Everything about this cult is on steroids. I know, it is. It is. It's everything. It's on steroids. Exactly. If you believe in a God, believe in one that doesn't control you like that. Yeah, you gotta ask yourself, man. Like, I can't love God without this guy's permission. Like, this guy is controlling. This guy is stopping me from loving God. I mean, really? Is that the type of religion we're in now, where and that's guru worship? Is this worshiping some guy? Yeah, chanting Hare Krishna after leaving ISKCON seemed counterproductive to me. It's like half in, half out. Yeah, absolutely. And that was the dilemma when I was leaving. When I was leaving Hare Krishna, with the whole Tattva Darshan thing and the death threats and Yashoda Nandan and all of that, I wanted to be a Hare Krishna because I still believed in it. I hadn't come to the conclusion that it was a pedophile cult. I was just breaking away from the Ritviks. So I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm not with ISKCON. I'm not with the Ritviks. So where am I? I'm just me. So I'm thinking, oh, okay, I'm just going to be me, and I'm going to chant Hare Krishna and be me. But then, the natural progression was, he's bullshit, she's bullshit, this is bullshit. So Prabhupada's bullshit too. So eventually I got to that point where this is all bullshit. So why do I want to chant? Why do I want to chant? Why do I want to have anything to do with this? And that was the big step. That was like coming off the lunar lander onto the surface of the moon. It was like one small step for man, one giant leap. It was because it was like, oh, I'm not just leaving the Ritviks, I'm leaving this cult. So now I got to move out of my apartment. I got to just leave everything. I don't even have to pack. I don't even have to pack. I just gonna grab my clothes, grab my belongings, whatever, and I'm out of here. All this Krishna stuff is staying. I'm not packing up books and pictures and photos and all. I think I took the deities because I wanted to say fuck you to Yashoda Nandan. So I took the deities. But I left everything else because I'm not reading these books. I'm not looking at pictures of Prabhupada. And that's why I said I had that picture that I took in Vrindavan of this mural. And I really liked that photo. And I left it there because I was like, fuck all this Krishna stuff. I don't want it. Yeah, it's because his 64 rounds of Mahamantra is empty, and he's finally had some semblance of cognitive realization that it's worthless and does nothing for him. Yes, I mean, this is the thing. You can only fool yourself for so long. You can fool yourself, but only for so long. You're gonna call your own bluff. You're going to call your own bluff and say, fuck this. You can sit there and you can chant all the rounds you want and you can go, yeah, I'm feeling bliss and I'm laughing. You can even be Gorahari and Hot Lips and think that you're in ecstasy and you're giggling and crying and laughing. You can make yourself do that. Believe me, if I wanted to sit here and pretend like I'm giggling and crying because I'm chanting, I could do it. And we could all do it. It ain't no big deal. It's just not. Bedtime stories. Yeah, the bedtime stories, man. Yeah, and if you actually, like if you want to chant Hare Krishna or any mantra, that's fine. It's the chanting of the mantra is not the problem. It's the molesting of the little kids. It's marrying the little girls off. It's letting child molesters go. It's not calling the police on the molesters. It's the domestic abuse and not reporting it and guys smacking their wives around. That's the problem. It's not the chanting. You don't have to chant Hare Krishna. Go chant. No, see, that's the thing. Nobody wants to just go chant. Because if it's just chanting and it doesn't have all this shit connected to it, why do it? Why do it? If it's not taking me back to Godhead and giving me the body of a 12-year-old girl so I can have sex with Krishna, why chant? Why do any of this? Why do it? So like yoga, it's like doing yoga. If you want to go do yoga, do yoga. It's fun. You can do yoga, you get something out of it. Breathing, meditation, it's all fun. It's all fun, but you don't have to believe in some magical, mystical thing to do yoga. You don't have to believe, you don't have to have some special, magical, mystery guru to do yoga, or to breathe, or to meditate, or to do anything. That's yeah, I know. You don't have to bang a gong and clang cymbals and chingy ching and bumpity bump. You don't have to do all that stuff. But if you want to, you can. Like you can go to a drum circle. Go chant at a drum circle, and then you got the drums, you got your chanting, and you got a crowd. And you go do that. I mean, you'll get the same. You'll get the same thing out of it. Yeah, I agree. But in my opinion, you aren't a good person if the only reason you're being good is so that you don't burn for eternity. Yeah, I mean, you're being a good person, but you're motivated to be. You're not being a good person out of the goodness of your heart. You're being a good person because you want something out of it. So, I mean, you're doing good. I mean, if you will only go help the poor if you're getting paid to go help the poor, then you're still helping the poor. You're getting something out of it, but the poor are getting something out. I mean, if you're getting paid to go down and feed the poor, but that's the thing is they don't do that. You volunteer to do that. They don't have jobs where you go down and you do for volunteer work. Volunteer work is volunteer work. But if somebody was just like, March of Dimes, somebody's running March of Dimes and they're getting paid. And it's charity work. It's helping people. And it's for the goodness. But somebody is getting paid to do that. So does the fact that he's getting paid negate the goodness? No. But I understand what you're saying. March of Dimes is not running as a nonprofit organization. It's running, to do good, but it's also to make money. So, but when it comes to, March of Dimes is not a religion. And that's what people forget, this is a religion. This is a spiritual path. I shouldn't be charged for any of this. I know, it's be a good person because you want to be a good person. That's the bottom line, is be a good person because you want to be a good person. And being a good person is the right thing to do. That's it. That's it. And you join ISKCON, you're not being a good person, and you're not being a good person for all the wrong reasons, man. They always look mad to be there. Prabhupada was a senile, ignorant man. Oscar, yeah, you hit the nail on the head, Oscar. Glad to see you here. I'm glad to see you here. And I'm glad you spoke up. We need everyone to join in. My philosophy is just be a good person. It's not hard. It's not hard. It's really not. Yeah, who the hell would be happy waking up at 3 a.m. to go 4 a.m. at Mangalarti? I mean, some people get up early to go, like my dad used to get up early to go play golf. He'd get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and get ready, and he'd be out the door because he wants to be at the golf course, at 5 when they open, so he can be the first, whatever. So people, if people want to do something, they'll do it. But I agree, man. Why 4? Like, why 4 in the morning? Like, can we just kick it back a little bit, like 8? You know, like, can we just dial that back a little bit? If you have to work extra hard to do it, then guess what? Yeah. So the cult of foot fetish. Yeah, you know, the foot fetish, man. You're absolutely right about that. The foot fetish, it's the washing the feet and drinking the water and touching the feet and everything, like everybody's pod, you know, the foot of Vishnu and the foot of this and the foot of that. Something about those feet, man. It's something about those feet. Something about those feet. Hey, listen, everybody. I want to say, it's going along. It's been 3 hours now. When love of God is when you wash my feet and give 99% of your paycheck, said the ISKCON guru. Yeah, that's love of God. Yeah, he's giving me foot water to drink. That's what he's giving me. He's giving me his foot water. I got to really, you know, his mercy. And eating the guru's remnants and eating and, you know, chewing on their banana peel. It is disgusting. It's disgusting. So everybody, I got to skip over some of your comments here. It's really great. I love all you guys joining in. Jenna Martin, Bhakti Braj Mohan. I hope he's still here. Wake up, you're delusional. This cult is absolute BS. Yeah, it's really sad because some of these they can't distinguish between ISKCON and Hinduism, so they think we're bashing Hinduism, and they don't understand. They're brainwashed. They got brainwashed by these guys. When you see these guys, when I show you these videos of these guys out at these schools, and they're brainwashing these little kids, that's Braj Mohan. They got him. They got him. Rajman will be in the new Memento too. Yeah, that was a good movie. That was disturbing. So yeah, hey, you guys joining in all these comments, man. I gotta end it here. I'm gonna just say, I gotta cut it out, man. It's that celibacy nonsense. It's over 3 hours, man. It's over 3 hours long. And it's nighttime, and I gotta say thank you for everybody. Thank you everybody for joining in. Everybody, you guys are still commenting, and I can't see them all. Krishna Karma, you're making coffee. That sounds so good, but it's 1:15 in the morning for me, and all of you. So I want to say thanks to everybody. Jenna Morton, Queen of Karma, thanks for joining. 6781, Eliana. Rafal, thanks for being here, man. I still got more videos to get to. 3.5 hours, and I didn't get to all the videos I wanted to get to. Bhakta Braj Mohan, thanks for stopping by. Weird Planet, everybody. I don't even know. I forgot who else is here. Wow U7V, man. Thanks for coming in. It's always great when I see all you guys here. And Fake Human, man. I can't forget Fake Human. Oh man, I love it. So everybody, thank you so much for joining in tonight. I enjoy this so much that this is my therapy. Absolutely, this is therapy. I look forward to this so much. And so I want to thank everybody for joining in, making it so much fun, to laugh and watch these videos and really get deep in on this Krishna stuff. So thanks, everybody. Have a great day, great night, great morning, great afternoon, great evening. Have some great luck. And please, everybody, please stay out of the cult. And all you new people and Braj Mohan and everybody else out there, here I am. When I was once a Hare Krishna, just like you guys. All right, thanks. And hit that like, share, and subscribe. Hey, I'm almost at 500. If I can get there, man, my videos will go out to even more people. So like, share, and subscribe. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. And again, here I am when I was brainwashed freak.